Lift your hands, you got to stand with all your might. Eat the shells, reignite, truth in the battle, drop the knife, rebels rise, hear the sound, metal echoes all around.
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
It's Friday night.
Friday night means it's Metalheads Unite.
That's right.
Hell yeah!
And we are back to regularly formatted since we've had a couple of weeks of interviews and the Shadow of the Talisman was a really good interview, and then of course last week I think we were both were kind of having problems holding back to to ask questions because it was pretty if you missed it last week we did interview Nige Rocket of Onslaught. And if you follow the show for any amount of time, you know that's a big deal to us because that was kind of the inspiration for starting this show was that band. So definitely we're in awe. I think when we were talking to Nige, but
kind of surreal how it all came together, and honestly, kind of how fast. I mean, Curtis kind of hooked us up, and it was really crazy how fast it all came together. Because I mean, it wasn't really like we asked. You know, he sent us the press kit for the new double album for the 40th anniversary that they've got coming up. And I just made a comment. It's like, oh, hey, they were the reason why we started the podcast. And he was like, you want an interview? And I mean, no way in hell we were going to turn that down.
You're going to ask us twice.
Didn't. And then, I mean, what was it like 2 weeks later? I mean, we were good to go. So, I mean, we were able to follow up Shadow of the Talisman with Onslaught. And I mean, couple weeks. Went down the wrong tube. I do that I do that shit all the time. I do it all the time. But it was awesome getting to talk to Nige and getting to hear the history, especially his version of the history with the band. Because I mean, he's been there since the beginning. Yeah. He's the only one who's been through it all. So it's cool, that we were able to, because even when we talked to Andy from Brainstorm, I mean, he as long as Brainstorm's been around, he wasn't even there for the first part of it. Right. So he came in, he's been there a long time, but he came in 10 years in. So the fact that we got to talk to somebody from a band that's been around that long, and he's been there the whole time from start to now, just to be able to get his perspective on how everything started. And then, of course, if you guys watched the show, we touched on the fact that there was like, what was it, a 19-year hiatus? I mean, it was a long hiatus. It was like something. It was like it was at least 15 years. I remember that. But yeah, a long hiatus, and I'm sure it's some
90 something to 07, I think, or something.
Yeah, something like that. 91 to 06 or 91 to 07, something like that.
It was like 94. Maybe it was 91.
Something I can't remember. It was a
long time.
It was a long time, and I mean, at some point, I mean, I'm sure that, and he even touched on it. I mean, he was like, I'm done, and then it just as
the drummer brought them together, I think.
As luck would have it, things kind of worked themselves out for round two, and here we are.
Thank God they did, because I mean,
I know
we wouldn't have been in that situation. So
I know.
I mean, we're very thankful for that. So
we're thankful for that, but we're also thankful for the music we got to experience when they got back together. Because I mean, as solid as the first three albums were, and they are, I mean, all three of them. That's why they're celebrating those three albums with the double album. The first part that they re-recorded, they took bits and pieces of the first three albums and put together that re-recording, and it turned out so well. But as solid as those first three albums were, it was nice to be able to be treated to the more modern catalog too. So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, super duper happy that we got to do that, and Nige was awesome. Cool
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Little
yeah.
a little bit more reserved than I expected him to be, but I mean,
Well, I mean, it's kind of.
not everyone is 100% outgoing and gregarious all the time. There's nothing wrong with that, but just
Well, I mean, he seems like the kind of person that probably has about 20 things going through his mind at once too. So he
really,
seems very, very kind of, you know, very busy. I guess.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Not meaning that way. Just his mind's very
Oh yeah.
busy with things. Because I mean, he was even talking about creatively writing and stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that makes a. So did we see? Did all this? Let's see.
But yeah, so that was it was a good time, and it was an unexpected honor to get a
It
chance
was,
to
yeah.
talk to him. So
Yeah. I wish we'd have got more guys, but that's okay.
yeah. Well, like he said, we'll talk again sooner than later, and we'll we'll do that. So, I mean, here's hoping, of course. So
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess we have about 2 weeks worth of shit to do. So,
yeah, we do. We do.
Oh man.
Which is, I mean, is not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. It's better to have too much to talk about than not enough. I will say that.
Well, that's true. I mean, I think there was plenty to talk about
It's
this too.
definitely true. So
I think there's plenty to talk about. So I mean, I know
yeah.
you got more stories than I do, but
Mm-hmm.
between the both of us, I mean, there's plenty to do there. So, hey, what's up, Dana?
What's up, Dana? What's going on, man?
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Harvey Whippleman. Nice to see you.
Damn it, man.
Uh,
Shit. Oh God. Yeah.
oh,
Nice. That was a good one. Good.
I think some of my best work comes to me when I'm tired. So
Yeah. That was a good counter, is what that was.
yeah. So we don't talk. We do talk about wrestling here a little bit, but I did have a personal friend of mine in the wrestling business pass away this week. So it was, man, it's.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That's rough. I'm
it's
sorry.
tough, man. It's like, I'm not even out any names or anything, but it was a situation that I want to bring this up because we talk about this a lot. I do anyway, because I think it's important because we tend to go along our daily lives without, acknowledging little things, you know what I mean, that's going on with our bodies. So I think a lot of times your body's talking to you, you probably should listen. So, I mean, this was a situation where, the healthcare system failed him for one. I'm in healthcare, and I can tell you it's not the greatest. I mean, it's not. I mean, unfortunately that's I deal with people's medicines every day, and I see stuff, and I'm just like, it just blows my mind the hoops they have to go through just to get something paid for by a damn insurance company that
Right.
has no fucking right telling you what you do and don't need. So,
Right.
A doctor tells you, hey, this is what you want you to take. This is why. And there's codes and stuff they put in there now to tell, the insurance company, hey, this is why they're taking it. So they have all the information they need already. So there's no reason to put them through a week's wait to get a medication when the doctors gave you everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's frustrating for us as workers too. So don't feel like you're alone in the situation. But he had cancer, from what I understand, and he was diagnosed in October, and he kind of like kept it to himself. He was in the ER. He didn't tell anybody the results of anything he did at the ER. He just kind of kept it to himself because he didn't want his family worrying, I guess. I don't know. But you don't know what goes through somebody's mind when they're, the C word hits you. You always see it hitting somebody else. When it hits you, I think it probably would be a different, feel. I think so. It'd be kind of like a breath drawn out of you. I think if
Sure.
kind of got hit, you kind of got hit in the gut, like with news like that. So, so to me, it's like, how long he had dealt with that, we don't know. He could have been dealing with it for months, years, or whatever before they actually, and by the time they caught it, it was just too late.
Right. Yeah.
So, um, so it was kind of I say the bad thing was his brother's in ICU too, and he was posting stuff like earlier talking about how he was in, keep his prayers coming for his brother in ICU, and then they were like 2 days later talking about, oh, and I thought it was his brother because I was like, oh man, I hate hear that about your brother, and it was his sister posting that, so I didn't realize that she was talking about him. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, what the hell? So it kind of blew my mind that, this family's going through a lot, man, with, one in ICU, and like he actually flatlined and they brought him back. So, and then, and then the other brother actually passed. And so it's rough, man. So, but just want to take that time to tell everybody, check yourself. Even if you do a yearly checkout, just do the yearly checkup. I mean, stay on top of stuff, man. Like I said, your body talks to you. If you're, you got a pain in places you normally don't have pain. I mean, that's probably, we talk about, me and Chris both talk about how, pains we have, but I'm sure if we had something in a different location, we'd be like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So,
it's bad enough that I've let the pain I have go on as long as I have, but at least I know where it is and what it's from. But
exactly.
That's bad enough, So.
Well, yeah, and you're at you're at an age where they don't like operating on you, for stuff like that because, they're like, oh well, I can do this, but it may disable you the rest of your fucking life. So I mean, it's kind of like, you want to do that now, or you want to do that in your 60s or 70s? I mean, that's kind of, and by that point, you probably, by that point, you might as well not even worry about it at 60 or 70 because I mean, you didn't been that long. So.
Right. Well, and the funny thing is that's actually what pisses me off. I tried to get it fixed in my 20s when it first happened. I kept getting told, well, let's try this instead. Let's try this instead. Let's try this instead. And I'm like, I'm walking around in pain every day and no one seems to really give that much of a fuck. All they want to do is put a proverbial Band-Aid on it. And then just, oh, well, let's try this and see what happens. I'm going to hurt like I have been every day, so it's irritating. So, but my stuff aside, what happened to your friend is awful. So,
yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's it's a guy that I kind of like. It was like one of those guys where if I was at a show and somebody's like, hey, you ain't got nobody you can bring with me, I have somebody cancel, he'd be like one of the first guys I would call because he was dependable. I mean, he was always like, hell yeah, let's do it, and it's somebody that I've brought in with me at many shows and actually worked him because we had such good chemistry together. So it's it's a shame, man. But like I said, you just never know. So just like I said, do your best to keep yourself healthy, man. We keep you around as long as we can. We all want to be 80 in the pit. So I mean,
it's what we're aiming for.
That's what we're aiming for. So
it's what we're aiming for.
Dana's going to be 89 in crowd surfing. So
if he has anything to say about it, absolutely.
He said he had a pain in adjacent, so I don't know what to tell him about that. Take 2 Advil, I guess. I'm
right.
Oh man.
Take Tylenol for any headaches. Midol for any cramps.
There you go. Yeah, Midol. That's what you need. But so we got a little bit to go through, so I guess we probably better get banging on with this. We'll kick off like with our birthdays, like we do. And actually, I know Chris. I posted the.
Yep, you did.
I posted last week's for Chris because he does the Metalhead Minute for the week or whatever, and we had a guest, so I just posted the birthdays on there. But I'm going to go over those because I would like to go back another week because there were some big ones that week too. But I'm trying to keep it narrowed down as much as I can. I don't want to overload y'all with 50 birthdays today or nothing. But yeah,
well, and the funny thing was like the list you posted for last week wasn't even really all that long. So
it wasn't, no.
Not really.
But yeah, the week before was a little lengthy though, so I was kind of like, we'll just go with the ones or whatever. I mean, I guess I could have just went with like some of the main ones or something, but I like giving everybody their props or whatever, and anyway, I will go back all the way to March 21st, and then I'll start with this week. When did this week start? The 27th or trying to remember what this
29th.
week started.
29th.
29th. That's right.
Yeah, 29th.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't have birthdays for the 28th or 29th, so that's kind of what's throwing me off, I guess. So.
Oh, see, there you go. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
So March 21st, we had Essel Dope, vocalist for Dope, of course, and Zero, if you follow Static X, but there you go.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We had Robert Sweet, the first ever sideways drummer I ever seen from Striper, which a lot of people have influenced from that, and I think there's been a couple people do that now. I think Robert Vera from Nonpoint still does it, so it's kind of cool that it keeps. He started something that's still going, 40 years later, so it's pretty cool. Then we got our good friend Menno, guitarist over at our good friends at Hexed.
Oh yeah.
In March 22nd, we had Euronymous, guitarist and producer for Mayhem. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1993. We had Aaron North, guitarist for Nine Inch Nails. March 24th, we had Steve Zetro Souza, vocalist, or I guess ex-vocalist now for Exodus. He did, that was his third run with them, 86 to 94, then 02 to 04, and then 2014 to 25. So, I mean, he's got some pretty, the first and last stint was actually pretty significant, but I still think that's just because I still think they just did that because of the anniversary of that one album. I don't know why else they would have just done that. I mean, it's there really hasn't been no more story about it, so I don't. Maybe somebody eventually say, "Hey, this is why I was kicked out" or something. I don't know. But
I did see something, and I didn't read the story. I read the headline to where Gary Holt said that in a band you need all 5 members on the same page, and now we are. So I don't.
Okay. So
I didn't read the article. Maybe I
may have been pushing back on some writing or something.
Maybe I should have, and I probably actually might go back and do that. But so that's the only other kind of
gotcha. But like I said, there's 2 of us, and how many 10, 12 media outlets that we follow. Something is kind of hard to keep up with everything. So
yep.
All right, March 25th, we had Bob Ezrin, keyboardist and music producer for Alice Cooper, Kiss, and Pink Floyd. We had Frank Ferreira, drummer for Guns N' Roses from 06 to 25. Of course, we just talked about that a while back where he left the band. So we had Anders Frieden, I'll get to it right in a minute, vocalist for In Flames. March 26th, we had Steven Tyler, vocalist for Aerosmith, Trey Asgaroth as a goth. I'll get that out in a minute. Guitarist from Morbid Angel. Then we had our Betty Floyd from our good friends over at Valkyrie's Fire. She's one of the vocalists there. If you haven't heard of those guys, you definitely need to. They are starting to pop off, man. Speaking of popping off, we got an announcement in the tour dates that I want to talk about too for our local band. So
yes, hell yes.
March 27th, we had Johnny April, bassist for Stained. March 30th, we had Joey Castillo, drummer for Queens of the Stone Age from 2002 to 2012. Marco Faddis, drummer for Pestilence. Ryan Matraka, drummer for Valkyrie's Fire. There's a couple of Valkyrie's Fire birthdays this week. So March 31st, Eric Turner, guitarist for Warrant. We had Toshimura Hara is the real name, bassist for Deering Gray. Angus Young, guitarist for AC/DC. April 1st, we had one of our favorite guitarists, Phil Dimmel, guitarist for Kerry King. Of course, he was a Machine Head from 02 to 18. Yep. Richard Christie, drummer for Charred Walls of the Damned. Michael Polson, singer and guitarist for Volbeat. And we had R.J. Hale, drummer for Hellstorm. April 2nd, we had Sasha Gerstner, guitarist for Freedom Call, and then Halloween from 2002 to present. We had Arjun Anthony Lucassen, singer-songwriter for Arion. April 3rd, we had Chris Olivia, guitarist for Sabotage, who unfortunately passed away in 1993. And I think he was only 30 at the time,
30,
if I'm not mistaken.
He was.
Yeah, way too young.
Very.
Sebastian Bach, vocalist for Skid Row. April 4th, we had Gary Moore, guitarist for, he's been around for a lot of things, but I think Thin Lizzy was probably the most credited he had. So he passed away in 2011. Of course, Gary is you may think, oh, why he's in Thin Lizzy, but talk to some guitarists, man. They'll if they don't mention Gary Moore, I'll be surprised.
Right.
Nigel Preston, drummer for The Cult. Fortunately, he passed away in 1992. So a lot of people that birthdays and death days on here. It's not good.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, it's going to get probably more common than we want it to be. But
yeah, it will.
We have Mike Starr, bassist for Alice in Chains. He passed away in 2011. Adam Dutkowitz, guitarist for Killswitch Engage, and then Vane Dunov, bassist for Temptress, which is a band that just started following us on the socials. So we reciprocated, and I noticed they had a birthday in the camp. So there we go. So that's how that's kind of been working for us, I guess. So
no, but it's awesome.
It is. It is
pretty
cool.
It's awesome. I love it.
So that was all the birthdays that I had. I don't know if you've seen anything during this week that I may have missed, but
nope.
So there we go. Birthdays there.
No, you got them all as far as I can tell.
That don't happen very often. So.
Yep.
Oh man, Dana just said he may not be no more Metal and Tech shows this year. Well, that's not no good.
Yeah. I hope that'll change, man. If nothing else, hopefully there'll be like a
birthday bash at least.
Yeah, a 52nd birthday bash in November. So hopefully.
So is the May show still good then?
Well, that's just Krista's birthday. That's just
okay. Yeah. So.
Jason Honecker, you beautiful bastard! Look at you.
Hey, you want to know how I'm going to get you to hang around to the end of the show? Because we're going to talk about you in the touring segment. So
yeah, that's right.
Nope on the May show, Dana.
I think he's talking about no on the birthday show.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because I've already seen the flyer for Chris's birthday. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, good. So yeah, I mean, because I already feel bad because it's never been planned the way it's been planned. I just happened to be on vacation 2 of the times he's running his shows, so I'm just like, man, this sucks, dude. I hate that. I promise I'm not trying to avoid the shows, man. I love the shows you put on, and the bands are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, never would do that intentionally.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it's always been a good time getting together with the Metal and Tats guys.
Oh yeah.
It's always been fun.
Yeah. All right, so a little show and tell before we get cranking in the news, I guess.
Yeah, we can do that. Mm-hmm. All right. I guess I'll go first since you just did the birthdays. And speaking of our friends in Valkyrie's Fire, this is actually something of Kayla's. But at the Tullahoma Throwdown a couple weeks ago, we were hanging out with Dave Hale. He's the bassist for Valkyrie's Fire. Become kind of a good friend of ours, good dude. And we were hanging out, and we were watching a couple of the bands later in the show, and it was me and Kayla and Puerto Rico for our anniversary. Oh, see, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. No, I totally understand that. But so Kayla and I, we were hanging out with Dave, and we were standing there, and so I have 2 things. Got a guitar pick. Gave me a guitar pick. Gave Kayla and I both a guitar pick. And at one point he went outside, and I don't know where he went. He just kind of walked outside. I figured maybe he had a phone call or something or whatever. He comes back inside, and he was like, I thought I had a CD in my truck, but I don't. So what he did was he took the bracelet right off his goddamn wrist and gave it to Kayla.
That's awesome. He's a good dude, man.
Yep. So, like I say, this is Kayla's, but this is Dave Hale's bracelet that he was wearing at the Tullahoma Throwdown, and he gave it to Kayla in lieu of a CD that he thought he had in his truck but did not. so that's very cool. Like I say, we've come to know David, from our interactions at the Metal and Tat show. Like I say, and it's kind of a small world with Jason being here, because you and I actually first met Dave when we went to go see Halo Scars when they came to the Cobra in Nashville.
Oh yeah,
that's when we first met Dave.
Yeah,
and then obviously they played at the church at 117.
Yeah.
Got to see Valkyrie's Fire. I'm actually going to go see Valkyrie's Fire this Thursday when they're going to be headlining in Nashville. And Valkyrie's Fire is actually our first interview at the Rock and Pod Expo on Saturday. So it's kind of all this weird little kind of
tie-ins, man.
Yeah, all these little tie-ins we got going on. So, but it's just another example of like, how long we've been doing this, how long we've been working together and hanging out with Dana at this point. We wouldn't have met, Jason and the guys from Halo Scars if it weren't for Dana. We wouldn't have met Dave. We wouldn't have started hanging out with Dave and the bands and everything. So I mean, all the bands that we met, the guys in No Connection, Miranda and everybody in Symptom of the Universe, all of those guys that we've hung out with and become friends with it,
hell, I've actually sit up in here, some nights, actually I was, I think it was not a while back. Kobe was posting some stuff on. He sent us in Messenger, and I hit him back up, and I said, "Oh man, this shit sounds good, man." And he's like, "Oh, I got all this stuff going on," and then I'm sitting there like talking back and forth, and all of a sudden he's calling me. So we wind up. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's just too much to message." So we wind up like talking for like an hour and a half.
Oh, so there you go.
So it's pretty. They're pretty awesome. Like Jason and Keegan and Daniel, they're all awesome dudes.
Awesome.
They deserve all the success that they get, man.
Right. Do. I mean, Halo Scars, they've come on the show twice. They were nice enough to do that. So. But yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it won't be the last time they be on the show.
No, I seriously doubt it. But I mean, we've cultivated these relationships and these friendships, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, and it's cool to be able to do this and share it with people too. So, Mike Starr is passing was sad. Lane and Mike were part of a big chapter. Oh, for sure, dude. Like, I mean. I think that Alice in Chains, you can say Alice in Chains changed a lot with Lane passing away, but with Mike also, like that just kind of like, I think that kind of like tilted Alice in Chains into damn near a 180 at least, because
I think so.
Not saying their stuff's still not good. I mean, their stuff's still
right,
good.
Right.
It's just, like I said, you can tell it's kind of gotten, not away from the grunge type thing. I guess they got them to the dance. They kind of filtered away from that over time. But yeah, exactly.
Well, the funny,
hooked it with sense of identity. Well, then hook it up, Dana.
Like, yeah, man. I was actually pretty impressed with how good they sounded, how good their timing was, considering they had never played in front of a live audience before. Really? I actually talked to the lead singer for just kind of in passing. He was walking outside, and I was like, and I stopped him for a second. I said, that was really your guys' first time playing live in front of anybody? He was like, yeah. Like, holy
couldn't tell.
Yeah, they sounded cohesive. They didn't sound like they were, missing any beats or anything. But
this is the thing that we talk about with Dana too. Is that how many bands has Dana done that though? We talked about this. No Connection. They never been on stage until Dana, got them a gig. So I mean, it's kind of like Dana's putting a lot of people, a lot of these bands in front of people, and I mean that's kind of what we do here too.
We're trying to.
We're doing it on two different platforms, so it's good to he's set them up, and then we halftime we throw them on here and interview them. So it's kind of like here you guys check these guys out, and then they wind up being on the show, and we get to know them a little better. And it's kind of like the relationship that we've created with Metal and Tass, and it's been an awesome journey, and.
It's been fantastic. I'm
sure it's going to keep rolling for many, many years. Hopefully,
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
All right, man.
But yeah, that was my show and tell. I thought that was very cool of Dave to do that, because, like he said, he was just like, here's my bracelet. Go ahead. Like, oh shit! I was like, oh.
Well, I was on vacation last week, or was it last week or week before? Kind of, I guess. But
right.
So I came back last Thursday night. Yeah. So I usually try to find record stores or something like that just to try to see if I got memorabilia that I, don't have or haven't seen or, whatever. But I'm in it. Like I've been in the album collecting stage here in the last couple of years. So I usually buy odd stuff here and there, but Used to check my what? Your PNs? Where's it end?
He may that might be a typo or an
Oh,
autocorrect or something. I don't know. I
okay.
don't know what the hell that is. He may
He
have
says
to.
he says my PNs, so I don't know where
He
it ends.
I don't know. He may have to retype that. I don't know.
No.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, picked this album up over in actually Washington D.C. So that's I got to follow the leader there. So
Oh, nice.
that's got it's still in cellophane. I haven't even opened it, so it's
Yeah, yeah.
and I mean it looks like it's still brand new. I mean I don't think it's. I mean it's got the like little ridges on the plastic, so I'm not sure if this has ever actually been open. So.
Well, at this point, you don't want to risk it.
Well, exactly. I mean, I mean, I could do it and check it out, but I mean, it's not. I mean, as far as I can see, it doesn't have any kind of marks or scratches or anything on the cover at all. So I'm pretty sure it's probably been in this plastic the whole time. So
And that's cool.
yeah,
Because hell,
and
that's
then
pushing 30 years at this point.
yeah, and actually, this one's kind of the same way. I don't know if they repackaged it, man. I can't tell from or whoever had it and they repackaged it. Took very good care of the album covers because I don't see any wear or tear anywhere on the even where they pull the album. You would pull the record in and out. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see anything, but yeah, I got this one too. The Shadows Fall, Art of Balance.
Oh yeah. That's a
So,
great. And it does. It has it has the sticker on it
yeah,
from.
that's what I'm saying. So it got the sticker on it.
I'm pretty sure that's factory sealed still.
Yeah, because it says RSD Black Friday, so it's
Yeah.
like it's like 20th anniversary limited edition Green Haze LP.
Oh, see that makes me want to see the actual the actual
Includes a
physical.
bonus 7-inch featuring 2 songs not included on the original release.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So there you go. It's like
Yeah.
huh.
Dana, we'll see you, man. Have a good one, bud.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you stopping by, Dana. So yeah, then I got of course that's got the Welcome to the Machine cover on it and all that good stuff. So which is a very good cover.
Shadows Fall has actually done a couple of really good covers. That
Yeah,
one
they
was
have.
good, and then their cover of Bark at the Moon was really well done.
Yeah,
They even covered the music video. Not only did they cover the song, they
they did
covered
the
the
music
music
video
video.
too.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They did a cover of the
That's pretty
music
good.
video too. It
That's
was
pretty
awesome.
cool. So it was
Yeah,
actually like kind of like Ozzy's. They just kind
yeah,
of redone.
yeah.
Wow, that's that.
Almost shot for shot.
I don't know if I've ever seen that done before.
Yeah, you'll have
That's
to
pretty wild, dude. I'm
you'll
gonna
have
have to
to
look that up.
yeah
So
you'll have to check that out. It was really well done.
wow, okay,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I know you've been a Shadows fan a lot longer than
long
I
time.
have.
Yeah,
So
so looking forward to the new music. Oh my
yeah,
god.
me too. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's kind of a little show and tell. I know.
yeah, that was cool.
It's funny. I bring that up to Chris, and Chris says, "You got more stuff than I do." I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm a hoarder, man. It's like I don't know. I just kind of like I get stuff. One of these days, I'm actually we're going to clean the garage out sometime next week. So hopefully I run across those magazines. I really want to show those off because
Oh yeah, you were telling me about those.
you're talking about stuff from the '80s and early
Yeah.
'90s. So it's be pretty cool. But it's like I've always see stuff, and I'm just like, well, hell, that'll be worth money one day, So my whole thing. This is my all this stuff is my kind of memorabilia, and then a lot of it's kind of my retirement. At some point because I probably told my kids, I said, if what I don't get rid of, you're welcome to when I die. So I mean, it's gonna be, I got pots that are from back some of the first sets of that. So I mean, that stuff's worth money already. So probably not right now with the economy the way it is, but
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, it may be worth more money now because if if you're trying to get something that from another country at this point with a tariff on it, it's like
Well, I mean,
you're not going to be you're going to be paying more for it. So if that's the case, then probably if I sell it here in the States, I could probably get more for it because if you're going to order it from somewhere else, you're going to have to pay more than what I'm probably going to charge you.
true.
So there you go. So
Yeah.
maybe it's a good thing for collectors. I don't know. But like I said, all that shit, I just kind of tell everybody, "So man, just calm down, let it pan out, dude. It'll be all right." So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's not like we haven't been through a crisis like this before in the country. So But anyway,
Well, that's true.
but anyway, that's yeah. So we'll definitely dig some more stuff up in the next upcoming weeks, I guess. Hopefully, so
Mm-hmm. Yep.
even if Chris doesn't find anything, I'm sure he's got some stuff buried somewhere too that he probably hadn't.
I might. I might. I might. Yeah.
uh, I know he's got a lot of equipment that I don't have though. So he's got a lot of drumsticks and picks and stuff from shows that I don't have. So
Yeah. That's true.
and it's a good thing that he probably remembers most of it. Like the picks I have, I barely remember where I got any of them. So.
A lot of them I do, not all of them, but a lot of them I do.
So I got this from somewhere.
Yeah.
uh, all right, let's. I guess we'll kick you into the metal news of the week. I guess I can go first since you got a few more than I do. So
that's fine. Yep. That's
and a couple of mine are real short. So
okay, that's fine.
So my first one over from Metal Hammer, a new exhibition dedicated to Nirvana is to open in London in late June. Kurt Cobain Unplugged will be hosted at the Royal College of Music Museum from June 3rd to November 18th, and will feature Kurt Cobain's Martin guitar as played during Nirvana's classic 1993 MTV Unplugged performance on display in Europe for the first time. A statement about the exhibition on the Royal College of Music Museum website reads, quote, experience rock history up close, see Kurt Cobain's legendary Martin guitar on display for the first time in Europe. Reunited with his famous green cardigan from MTV Unplugged performance, this exhibition celebrates the enduring influence of Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Step into the world of Kurt Cobain and explore the legacy of Nirvana, a band that defined a generation. Explore their iconic 1993 MTV Unplugged performance, one of Nirvana's final televised appearances before Cobain's death just 5 months later. See up close Kurt Cobain's rare Martin D18E guitar, uniquely adapted for his left-handed play, shaping the unmistakable sound that defined Nirvana's music. In 2020, it became the most expensive guitar ever sold at auction, bought for over $6 million by an Australian entrepreneur, Peter Friedman AM. The exhibition at the Royal College of Music Museum, man, I could probably do 2 or 3 things on this one. Saying this, repeating almost everything. Reunites Kurt Cobain's guitar with another piece of rock history, his famous olive green mohair cardigan worn during MTV's Unplugged performance, which you've already said before. I don't know why you're doing it again, but anyway, making the first time we've seen the two legendary items ever been displayed together. Immerse yourself in rare memorabilia, uncover insights into Cobain's songwriting, and discover the lasting influence of a band that changed the face of rock music. End quote. Admission to the exhibition will cost £5. Can't remember what that is in American dollars, but anyway, that is that story there. So any Nirvana fans in Europe, there you go. Go check that out. So I guess it's kind of like a wax thing or something. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Could be.
Well, it seems like so.
Might be. All right. Well, my first two, I'm going to knock these two out real quick because these are actually a couple of stories I had just in case, last week didn't happen the way it did. So we wanted to be prepared just in case because we didn't want to have another onslaught situation. So brainstorm.
Yeah.
But so unfortunately, I still wanted to talk about these because unfortunately we do have a couple of passings to talk about. Like I said, I'll get through these real quick. Over at thisdayinmetal.com. And I want to say one thing I will say before I talk about this. None of our usual outlets have this passing, and I'm kind of pissed about it.
Really?
Really. I haven't seen it at any of our normal outlets, and that's bullshit if you ask me. Wow. But over at thisdayinmetal.com, dear friends and fans all over the world, with great sadness, we have to inform you that our beloved friend, charismatic frontman, and one-of-a-kind vocalist Dirk Schroeder has passed away. He's the lead singer of the band Iron Angel. We are still processing what has happened, as Dirk was not just a bandmate to us, but a dear friend. Besides his larger-than-life personality, Dirk had a heart of gold and was very protective towards the people he cared about, even at the expense of his own well-being. He will be deeply missed by all of us, but while mourning his loss, we should also cherish the memory of him and all the things he has accomplished, all the joy he has given, his music, his legacy. May he never be forgotten. R.I.P. Dirk Schroeder, 67 to 25. He was 58. Don't know the cause of death, but like I say,
Yeah,
I can't.
the only other place I see it on is on Threads and on Instagram.
Yeah, so I'm
So,
like, what? So
yeah,
I'm like, what the actual fuck? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's kind of crazy.
So bullshit if you ask me. And then the other one over at the PRP.com, multiple reports coming in that 156 Silence bassist Lucas Booker has sadly passed away. Various friends, family, and peers have taken to the internet to share tributes to the late musician on social media, including his sister Courtney and victim's drummer / vocalist Meredith Henderson. A crowdfunding campaign has also been launched on behalf of the family for his funeral expenses. You can contribute via GoFundMe.com. His older sister Brittany launched that campaign, stating, quote, "Hello, my name is Brittany. I'm the oldest sister of Lucas Booker. We are asking for help to put my brother to rest. He passed away today suddenly and did not have life insurance. He was a great man and a wonderful light that made the world brighter. He would do anything for anyone that needed him. He absolutely loved his family, the band he played in, and his friends. Please help if you can. All donations will be given to his father, Maurice Booker. We appreciate all of you," end quote. And the GoFundMe mentioned is currently at $35,615. I don't know what the goal was, but oh, wait a minute, hang on. $10,000 goal. So they've more than blown past that, which is cool. So $35,000 raised of a $10,000 goal. So,
Okay.
And then there was a statement that the band themselves had put out. Also at the PRP, quote, "Yesterday afternoon, we were devastated to learn of the passing of our brother, dear friend, and beloved bandmate, Lucas Booker. Anyone that knew Lucas knew how kind, selfless, and genuine he was. He would watch every band mosh before our set and still had enough energy to put it all out there on stage. No matter where he was just happy to be there. He lived for music, and his smile was infectious. In many ways, he was the heart of 156, and the world is a darker place without him. His light will be immensely and immeasurably missed. In his honor, we will be continuing on with scheduled shows. His family has also organized a GoFundMe if anyone is willing and able to donate. I know they would greatly appreciate it. We love you so much, Lucas. You were supposed to be here for the whole ride, buddy. We were supposed to conquer the world together. We'll see you soon, brother." End quote. So yeah, we wanted to make sure, even though we didn't do the regular show last week, that we talked about those two. I did mention them. I did mention them in the Metalhead Minute, but for anybody who didn't catch that, so there you go. So
it's and I actually like that band, dude. They have some really good stuff. So it's kind of sad to see, but
yeah. And again, there was no cause of death for Lucas, and it didn't say how old he was, but if he's if
I would imagine
he's
he's younger than we are. He's got to be.
oh yeah,
That band hasn't been around that long. So
I would be surprised if Lucas is older than 35, judging by the pictures.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they've been around like a super long time. So
no.
All right, man, that's a bummer. So
Yeah.
metal. This one over from Metal Hammer as well. Ice Nine Kills frontman Spencer Charnas has launched his own bespoke cosmetics range, Pretty Evil, a collection of high performance essentials in hair care, cosmetics, and skincare, designated to withstand the spotlight's glare or the spine tingling thrill of the unknown. A press release for the newly launched brand states, quote, "Developed with elite chemists in the USA, Pretty Evil is war paint for the wicked, designed to hold up under stage lights, sweaty mosh pits, or moonlit murder sprees. The debut collection includes makeup and hair care products that promise durability, intensity, and cruelty-free confidence." End quote. Speaking about launch of the exciting new venture, Charnas says, quote, "The passion and care we put into Ice Nine Kills is reflected back into the unwavering support of our beloved psychos. I consulted with high-end industry pros, undertaking a meticulous dismemberment process to ensure this is built to last. Would I be caught dead in Pretty Evil? Absolutely, and so should you." Yeah, end quote. The press statement adds that Pretty Evil is here to prove that beauty is indeed in the beehive of the beheader, not the beholder, the beheader. So I love the little murder on plays with those guys. It's funny. The debut collection from this includes Dye Liner, not eyeliner, dye liner.
Gotcha.
So, a rich, high pigment black eyeliner designated to make a statement. Liquid lipstick, the Welcome to Horrorwood eyeshadow palette. 15 versatile shades to create looks from the wearable, natural, smoky to vibrant, eye-catching styles. And Devil's Due Grim Grip pomade to keep you looking sharp through even the most violent of nights. So there you go. So it's I think anything that Spencer can do to play on words with murder sprees, he's probably going to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
It's crazy. But,
yeah. Jason wants to know if it'll regrow hair.
I don't know, man. I'm starting.
Not you, Jason Honecker.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm starting to see a little bit too my damn self. So.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I cut it all off a while back, I was like, oh man, it's getting thin in the part area, man. Yeah. But I have like kind of laid off the hair growth vitamins and stuff that I used to take, so I probably need to get back on those. So.
Yeah. All right. Staying over at the PRP for this next one. Tim Cronin, a co-founding member of Stoner Rockers Monster Magnet, who handled vocals, drums, and bass for them in their early years and later went on to handle their live lighting and stage production, has been diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. In light of his progressively worsening condition, this GoFundMe has been launched to help him and his family out with the associated medical costs and financial burden caused by the disease. His stepdaughter Maggie said the following alongside that campaign, quote, "Dear friends, family, and supporters, you may know Tim Cronin as the keeper of musical knowledge at Jack's Music Shop in Red Bank for nearly 4 decades, the lead singer of local New Jersey legends the Ribeye Brothers, his years touring around the world with Monster Magnet as Master of Lights, or his prolific podcast appearances. If you do, then you know that he is one of the kindest, funniest, and most genuine people you will ever be lucky enough to meet. He would love nothing more than to spend the rest of his years performing music, grilling for friends and family at his legendary barbecues, and walking the beach with the love of his life, his wife Carrie. But devastatingly for Tim, he has been diagnosed with ALS, a progressive and incurable neurodegenerative disease that causes muscle weakness, paralysis, and eventual respiratory system failure. It has already begun robbing him of his independence and the things that he loves to do. To say this has been shattering for Tim's beloved wife, stepdaughter, and the many people who love him is an understatement. It's not in Tim's nature to ask for help, as he is the guy who helps others, but it's our turn to help him now. While there's no cure, there are care options and accommodations that can have a profound impact on his quality of life. Unfortunately, they are significantly expensive. ALS has been called the bankruptcy disease due to the significant and ever-increasing financial burden it places on families. We are asking for your support to help ease the cost of this cruel and unfeeling disease and give Tim the comfort and dignity that he deserves. Your donations will go directly towards in-home assistance, wheelchair ramp, mobility aids, medical treatments and therapies, assistive devices, and transportation to doctor's appointments. If you're unable to donate, please consider sharing on all your social media platforms. We can't ever express our gratitude for the kind words and love we've already received." End quote. And in case you're wondering, and you might be, as I am, the GoFundMe is currently at $76,268 raised of an $80,000 goal. So they're almost to their they're almost to the goal, which is good news. The bad news is that $80,000 is going to go way too goddamn fast.
Oh yeah, that disease. I've actually had a friend of mine and watched his wife like go down with that. It was like almost like, man, it was almost like she just woke up one day and got worse. So it's just so crazy, dude. How that thing just it attacks, and then I don't know. It's pretty wild. Like it went from talking to her and her being a little feeble to. I seen her a week later. She had to talk to me with a computer. I was like, man, this is crazy, dude.
It really. I mean, I don't have any personal experience with it. There's nobody that I know who's had it, but I mean, from everything that I've seen, people go downhill fast with this.
Unless you're Jason Becker,
he did really hang on a long time.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy.
But it just seems to be a super duper aggressive illness. It sucks because that's what it is. I mean, once you have it, I mean, that's just it. I mean, there's no coming back from it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's crazy. He's still alive with it too. It's what's crazy to me, and still like making music with his eyes and stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy, dude. Like, and it's sad because if anybody followed that story, he was supposed to be the next guitar wizard that
Mm-hmm.
everybody's
Oh,
going to be
he
talking
was
about, dude. And
tremendous guitar player.
yeah, just like to have I think he got diagnosed in his 20s. So I mean, it
I
was
think so.
yeah, I think it was real early in his life. So he's 55 now. So it's crazy to see that you know, man, whatever he's doing, as far as medications or treatments or whatever he's doing, he must be doing something right. So
Right.
to be hanging, and it's unfortunate that you know I think a lot of people hang on to think, oh, well, there's going to be a cure at some point, and it's we've talked about this, on the side at sometimes there's too much money at big pharma to create cures, so
Yeah.
unfortunately, so
Yeah.
it's just like there's no money in peace. That's why everybody asks, why is there wars? Where? Because there's no
Mm.
money in peace.
Yeah.
So
God, as far as like the medical part of it, I mean, God forbid you cure a disease, even though people are still going to get sick at some
exactly, I
point.
don't
So, I
understand that.
mean,
It's just like
there will still be need for medical care. Even if you cure one thing,
mm,
people will still get sick. So, I mean, it's just,
mm,
it's ridiculous,
yeah. Well, I mean, we've been through this, in with multiple diseases. HIV was killing people in the '80s, and nobody knew how to treat it. And now people are living, their life out, with it. So it's kind of like,
Well, the funny thing is they're to the point now and I don't know the name of the treatment, but there's a treatment out there now to where they're putting people on this treatment, and then they can't even find a trace of the HIV anymore.
yeah, I
They're
mean,
they're this they're this goddamn close to curing HIV
yeah,
at this point.
yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of, I mean, when you look at people like Magic Johnson, and then you see him like 20 years later giving blood, you're like, hold up, man, what the?
Mm,
It's like,
right. Yeah.
hey, I don't know if that's you know, actually legal for them to do that, but whatever. I guess if they test it and he's clean, I guess, I mean, you can use it. I don't know, man. It's kind of,
I
you know,
no no
I don't
way.
know. Yeah, I don't think you should, with it being like a disease that it is, I don't think it's just like hepatitis. I mean, if you got hepatitis, a bloodborne disease. I mean,
Right.
you can't just be transmitting that stuff uh, through blood transfusions and stuff. So,
Right.
all right, this one's real short. So over at Metal Injection, well, various jokes could be made. Hell, I had to filter out a few myself. But in all seriousness, Twisted Sister has sold the band's remaining record copyrights to Warner Music Group. Not only did they sell the rest of their recording rights, they also sold their names, images, likeness, and trademarks. So Twisted Sister have pretty much sold everything. So
Damn it.
far, no one knows how much Twisted Sister will receive for the selling of the rights. However, it shouldn't come as much as a surprise after singer Dee Snider decided to sell his catalog to Universal Music Group back in 2015. Couple that sale alongside the fact that none of the band's children have any interest in continuing the Twisted Sister business. So, according to an interview with JJ French for Forbes, Twisted Sister's hit singles "We're Not Gonna Take It" and "Stay Hungry" were amongst the top. Were amongst the songs sold back in 2015. Well, don't make me say it. You know what I'm thinking. So I don't know where he was going with that, but
Mm,
not right at the moment. But I'm sure if I read into it a little more, I probably would know exactly what he's talking about.
yeah, maybe.
But anyway, and we've said this on the show a couple of times too. Is I think Dee Snider's band under Dee Snider is much heavier than Twisted Sister anyway. But
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
His
and,
solo project's been a lot
oh
heavier.
yeah, yeah, and I'm not sure 'cause they were just talking about doing a tour too. So I'm like, this probably going to oust that out right there because I mean,
Yeah.
unless Warner's getting a cut of it, I mean, I don't know how they would pull it off
Right.
at this point. They
Right.
just sold everything, so.
Right.
But I do remember like talking a few months ago about how they were talking about doing one
Yeah.
last reunion tour. So
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah, I remember.
they had been talking about it for years and just never could squash
Yeah.
differences to do it, and they
Yep.
finally it's like, all right, we'll do it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess that'll be under a different name, like Christmas now or something. I don't know.
maybe.
Monica ain't using it no more. Something.
Yeah, Jason put a couple of interesting things talking about Becker in the chat. If you want to throw those up there,
Yeah.
But I'll hop on to the next one over here. But
damn, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. All right, this one over at Metal Injection, we got some breakups and shakeups to talk about here.
Hmm.
Bad Wolves has experienced a bit of a shakeup today as guitarist Doc Coyle and bassist Kyle Conkeal have quit the band. Replacing the two members are former Bad Wolves guitarist Chris Kane as well as new bassist Kevin Creekman. Both Coyle and Conkeal were founding members of Bad Wolves, as is Kane. In his statement, Coyle wrote, quote, "I regret to inform you that I've decided to part ways with Bad Wolves. It was not an easy decision to make. I've been playing with the band for almost 9 years, so this is a massive life change for me. It should be said that this is a completely amicable split. I love John, Kyle, DL, and AJ. Not being in the trenches going forward with my boys is the hardest part of all this, but this has been coming for a long while, and I think my time in the band has just run its course. I'm still rooting for Bad Wolves to take over the world, and it warms my heart knowing that our old guitarist Chris Kane is coming back to take the baton from me on lead guitar. I won't provide an in-depth explanation of why I'm leaving at the moment. I'm sure I'll share more details at some point when it's appropriate. I feel like I feel like I lost a bit of who I am as a creative and where my passion lies. Being in this band has brought challenges that have taken quite an emotional toll and burned me out. Through the ups and downs, I've done everything in my power to make Bad Wolf successful. I'm very proud of our work, the albums we made, and overcoming the adversity we faced, but it's time for a fresh start. Breaking out the way we did in 2018 gave me a second chapter to my career that I could never have dreamed of. Being in our late 30s and receiving #1 singles, gold albums, and arena tours right out of the gate was a stunning achievement. I'll always be grateful for the opportunities and doors that have opened since I was in Bad Wolves, and I'm proud of the fact that it inspired many musicians to keep grinding it out. If we could do it, you could do it. I want to thank everyone who worked with the band all these years, everyone at 10th Street Management and Better Noise Music, Eric and MSK, Independent Artist Group, every single crew member we've had, everyone who's written songs with us or done production work on any of our albums, but most of all, I want to thank the Bad Wolves fans. Your dedication has been a true inspiration. We've gotten each other through lots of hard times. The Wolfpack really is a family to me. Anytime I've had the chance to meet you in person, give you a hug, share your story, or take a picture together has meant the world to me. I will forever be grateful for your support. What's next? I'm not sure, but for the first time in a long time, I have nothing on the books. My schedule is wide open. That frightens me and excites me. I'm writing music. I'm on a journey to find out what the hell it is I want in life, and it's okay to not have all the answers right now. If you know me, you know that I'm not very good at staying idle, so I'm sure I'll see you all soon, end quote. Kyle Conkeal stated, quote, "After 8 amazing years, I'm stepping away from Bad Wolves. This wasn't easy, but I can't give 100% right now, and the music and fans deserve nothing less. Huge love to my bandmates, John, DL, AJ, and Doc, and to the fans, crew, and everyone I've met. Thank you. This isn't goodbye, just a new chapter," end quote. Bad Wolves have also issued their own statement saying, quote, "Bad Wolves officially announced the departure of longtime guitarist Doc Coyle and bassist Kyle Conkeal as they step away to pursue new creative endeavors. In light of this change, original guitarist Chris Kane is rejoining Bad Wolves. His return marks a homecoming, bringing Kane's signature energy and musicianship back into the fold for the first time since 2022. Additionally, the band welcomes Swiss-born Kevin the Creekman as new bassist, stepping in for Kyle Conkeal. Creekman, a Las Vegas-based musician, previously played with Peyton Parrish," end quote. So a little bit of a shakeup for Bad Wolves.
Yeah, God forbid he tells us why.
But, right. Did you have anything else? Do you need me to keep going?
I have one more, yes.
Okay, all right.
It was the one I actually shared today. I didn't tell you about it, but I figured you would.
Oh, all right, that's fine.
Once you see me share it, I figure you'd be like, "Oh, he's probably going to talk about it." So, this was kind of lengthy, so it's kind of going back to kind of something that happened with the Judas Priest guitarist Richie Faulkner a year or so ago, and then kind of leading up to some stuff that we're finding out today. So it's kind of an old story mixed with some new developments, I guess. So. So I pulled it. It's pretty much on all of them, but I pulled it from Metal Injection. That's where I first seen it. So So Judas Priest guitarist Richie Faulkner famously suffered an aortic aneurysm and complete aortic dissection during the band's performance at Louder Than Life 2021. Faulkner was rushed to the hospital and underwent an emergency 10-hour surgery that saved his life. Damn, has it been that long ago already? I can't believe it's been that long. Yeah. Wow, man, shit just it seemed like it was just like 2 years ago. Like
I know,
man, I know. Because, I mean, we did the story, so it's kind of like crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now in an interview with Premier Guitar, Faulkner reveals that he also suffered a stroke shortly thereafter. Oh, my God. Quote, we went back out on the road in 2022 and kind of been on the road since, but there's a bit of collateral damage. Well, not a lot of people know. Some nearest and dearest, they know about it. So about a month after the incident, I went back in and we were walking the dog in the neighborhood back home, and I had the dog. My girlfriend Mariah had our daughter Daisy, and I felt it come. I felt it, and it came over me, and I knew it was coming, and it came over me, and my face went, and then I couldn't talk, and then Mariah was there. She took the dog, she had the baby, and she was holding me up. The neighbors were all running out. Faulkner went into detail saying medical professionals originally thought he suffered a smaller transient ischemic
Ischemic?
TIA. Yeah, it's a TIA. So, you know me, I'm medical, only know initials. So, Jason understands
all the shorthand.
all the shorthand, yeah.
All the shorthand, yeah.
Yeah, especially because I don't want to pronounce all those crazy words. But
no shit.
Because a lot of them are worse than that. So, but he actually had a stroke instead. So, quote, I haven't felt comfortable up until this point, and I'll tell you why, explaining what happened. So, long story short, and it's not a short story, just so you know. We were in the hospital. This was a month after the surgery. We went back in, and it was the last thing I wanted to do because fuck hospitals, and I agree. They saved my life, but I've had enough of them for a month, so I'm back in there. And they basically said what I think it was a TIA, which means, transient ischemic heart attack, which is a TIA. It's a small stroke, so they're sure it's that. They put me on some medication. Turned out later on it was an actual stroke. So Mariah thinks I had one in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. I don't remember. I don't recall anything. I remember small ones happening after the event. I was in the bathroom and kind of went fuzzy and I sort of fell over. I think they were the TIAs, the mini ones. And the hospital said is when you have those, the danger is that there's a big one coming or a normal stroke coming. So that seems to be what happened. When we were out walking the dog, that's what happened. And it was obvious. Mariah said, your face went, you couldn't talk. It was like a weight was pulling me down. I was going to fall over if she wasn't holding me up. So that's kind of what happened. And at the time it stopped happening. I had another incident about a year after that. I had another open heart surgery. There was a leak, so they had to go back in and open it up again. And I had another small TIA at that point. So what happened was we went back out on the road, and I thought everything was fine. There was something in my right hand. I thought it was my rings. I wore these stupid rings for some reason, and I thought it was that. So I took the rings off. I thought it was impeding something. I was changing my picks. There was something different. I could get through it, but there was something different about my right hand. And again, I could get through it. I was brushing my teeth one morning and thought something's wrong with this hand. Something's different. And then my right foot and the right leg. So we went back in. We done some tests. They found some damage on the left side of the brain, which affects the right side. Now, fortunately, I don't play guitar with my foot, so that's fine. But I can get away with that. But my hand, obviously, that's our engine room, and everything started clicking into place in regards to what I was feeling on stage. Scroll down here. There was something that was wrong, something impeding, something wasn't right. So, as I said, we done some tests. They found the damage. They said that the fact that it hasn't gone away means that it's not a TIA, it's a stroke. TIA damage can go away. Stroke, and that's it, it's damaged. You've got damage in your brain. Now I thought I got brain damage before, but this is for real. It's a small thing on the left side. Faulkner later went into detail about why he never went public about having the stroke, saying he didn't want people to lose faith in him. Yeah. A few people near me, they know in the industry, there's a lot of fear from my side about being found out. I feel like I've got a lot of trust from fan base, other guitar companies, string companies. They back you, they put their bets on you, and I don't want anyone to know, because as soon as they know, they're going to lose faith. They're going to bail out. I'm not going to be appealing to them anymore, or I'm going to let the fans down. And when we play with Priest, we go out. I mean, go out and you think, how's it going to be tonight? And it's not so much the solo stuff, because the solo stuff you kind of adapt. It's the rhythm, the coordinated rhythm patterns and stuff like that. It's got to be locked in. And I felt that in a band like Priest, it's got to be world class stuff, and I don't feel world class. I went out there every night. I feel like a fraud because people don't know, maybe, but one day they're going to find out. Someone's going to find out, and they're going to say he's not playing that the same way. Invincible Shield, when we came to record the guitars at my home studio, I couldn't play that what was on the demos from a year before, and we went out with my side project Elegant Weapons in 23 playing with the band. It's like, I can't do that. What's going on? And the more I practiced, the worse it got. When you practice, you hopefully get better, but it was getting worse. Faulkner continued. There's two reasons for me wanting to, I'm more comfortable about coming out about it now. And now coming out is the wrong word, but opening up about it, I guess. I know there's a lot of, he probably wanted to change that out of respect to Rob, I'm sure. But right. I know there's a lot of people out there that play, they sing, whatever they do, and they feel like they're not good enough, or we don't have these issues as well, and it affects your mental health. And I want to let them know that they're not alone. All of us, probably more people than we are aware of, struggle with this sometimes. So you're not alone. And the other reason was to release it, to get it out, to tell people, because every time I go out, we do an on-stage sound check in front of fans who pay extra for that experience. People are standing right where where the cameras are, and they're right in the front. And I'm thinking they're going to know. They're going to say I'm not playing Painkiller right. Again, it's the rhythms more than anything. And I just thought if I kind of free that up, if I make this accessible, then the truth is the truth, and you can't argue the truth. That's the way it is. I still play. We're still writing records. We're still playing as hard as we can. It doesn't affect that, but there's just little things I have to do. But I go out every night thinking, sometimes I come off stage and I call home and say, I can't fucking do it. I can't do it. There's stuff that I used to play. I used to think something and it would just come out. Now I'm up there struggling to play like a rhythm pattern. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to quit. I can't do it. And then you have a good one. So who wants that? But that's the way it is. That's the truth. So that's what I struggle with. That's the collateral damage of what went on from that day. So obviously, here we are 4 years later almost, and it's still something that he's having to deal with on a daily basis. And, like you said, nobody knew because he wasn't telling anybody. So it's kind of, kind of one of those things where we were talking about in the beginning of the show. It's kind of get yourself checked, man, because you never know. So, not saying he could have prevented anything, because a stroke's kind of a thing that comes out of nowhere on you, unfortunately. So, and there are signs. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of times they're not something that's going to tell you a week in advance. They're going to hit you. You probably got like 15 minutes before you lose, feeling somewhere. So.
Well, the funny thing is like I remember when we first found out about what happened when they were at Louder Than Life. He said if it wasn't if it wasn't for the fact that, one, they were super close to a hospital,
right,
and two, if it wasn't for the fact that he had the adrenaline from just the on-stage performance adrenaline. He wasn't going on the adrenaline, it would have been so close to a medical center, he wouldn't have made it. Like if he just would have, because his heart basically exploded, more or less, because that aortic dissection shit, you have that, you're done. 99.9% of the people who have that, they're just done,
right?
Because there's no time to respond and get you to a medical facility and get you into surgery so fast. So, it's just,
and there's actually been stories. I know we're going to kind of circle back to wrestling. I'm sorry, but there's actually been stories where guys in the ring have died that way. So
Yeah,
something happened where they got dislodged from the main aorta while they're wrestling, and they just bleed out internally. So
and it's incredible because I mean, you can look up the footage of him. You could look up the footage right now. It's on YouTube, and you can't tell when and where. But when the story came out, he was talking about it. He was like, you could see the video of me playing the solo, and he was like, you can see the look on my face where I realize something's going wrong. And the funny thing is, I've watched that about a half dozen times. I can't tell the point. I can't tell the point where he realizes something is wrong, but he plays that solo in Painkiller note for note. He absolutely nails it.
It's crazy it had to be that song too. So
right, yeah. But to watch that clip and to know what's happening and to know that he probably by all rights shouldn't be alive is incredible. It's incredible.
It really is. So,
yeah. Colby, what's up, man?
Kobe from Halo Scar is in the house along with Jason the guitarist. So
hell
I guess Jason's still around in there somewhere else.
Yeah, I think he is. All right, I've got two more. I'll try to get through these relatively quickly. Over at blabbermouth.net, and one of us posted this on the group. I can't remember which one it was. May have been me. I don't remember. I know we've talked about it at least once, but Jeff Loomis and Van Williams have announced that they have recruited a new singer, bassist, and second guitarist for the reactivated version of their long-running band Nevermore. On Wednesday, March 26, Jeff and Van released the following message via social media, quote, "The wait is over. We are beyond excited to announce that after an incredible audition process, we've assembled a lineup that honors our legacy while forging a new path forward. We want to extend a massive thank you to everyone who took the time to submit auditions. The level of talent and passion we saw was truly inspiring, and we deeply appreciate each and every one of you who put your heart into this process. Your support and patience during this time has meant the world to us, and we can't wait to share what's next. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming your way soon. We're gearing up for the next chapter of Nevermore, and we promise it will be worth the wait. With gratitude and respect, Jeff and Van from Nevermore," end quote. Bassist Jim Shepard isn't involved with the Nevermore reunion, which was initially teased on December 27, 2024 via a 1-minute video containing various Nevermore-related imagery and silhouettes of Loomis and Williams, along with the text "Resurrecting the Dream." The teaser ended with the Nevermore logo, along with the line "A new chapter rises" and the year 2025. A little bit of TLDR stuff, going over some stuff with World Dane. You know what's messed up is it doesn't even give the name of the new guys.
What?
Why the hell did I bother reading this?
That's crazy.
Okay, that's kind of on me. I figured in the story they would have said who the new people were. All right, well, I'm sorry about that. Well, when we find out, we'll let you guys know. Okay, all right. So the last one over at Metal Sucks. This is kind of sort of a two-parter about the same thing. Like I say, I'll get through it relatively quickly here. Remember how late last month Godsmack hit the stage in Sofia, Bulgaria, with a completely different lineup than they've run for years? Gone were drummer Shannon Larkin and guitarist Tony Rambola. In their places were Evanescence's Will Hunt and Dorothy's Sam Bam Colton, respectively. Well, no one really knew what was going on, and vocalist Sully Erna was being a bit coy about the situation in an interview, saying it was a, quote, "tricky question to answer right now at this stage," end quote. But now Larkin's cleared the air in a recent interview, and it sounds like we've all been in the dark for a while now. Quote, "There's been lots of speculation about that. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for the outpouring of texts from all my family and friends. I'm okay. Tony's okay. We did quit the band last year after lots of talking to Sully and Robbie, and they understood that we didn't want to tour anymore. That's the reason. We understood that they wanted to tour, and so we understood each other, and in the end, Godsmack's out there touring, and we are out here happily living our lives. Tony's turning 60. I'm turning 58. It's not a physical thing. We just want to be home with everything that we love. 40 years I've been touring, 28 for Rambola. We're getting a little older, so we decided to quit. It wasn't a bad thing. I will talk more about it in the future, but it's all love. We're brothers for life with Sully and Robbie, and we wish Will and Sam all the best. All the fans keep going. They're kicking ass." Sully said at the end, "All good things must come to an end." Godsmack didn't come to an end. It's just a new chapter for them, and it's certainly a new chapter for Tony and I. We're already making new music, and everybody's happy, end quote. So there you have it. Both of those dudes are officially out of the band. Godsmack has yet to officially comment on Larkin and Rumbola's departures until in the span of about a week, we've seen Godsmack play a show in Sofia without drummer Shannon Larkin and guitarist Tony Rumbola, and wondered where they went. Then we learned from Larkin that he and Rumbola hadn't been part of Godsmack since late last year. Now we've finally gotten a full statement from the remaining members of the new metal act, which Sully Erna has said in the past, like, we were never a heavy metal band. Yeah. Anyway, members of the new metal act that's decided to coast on their old material and tour rather than make new music. In a statement posted online yesterday, which was April 3rd, so that would be April 2nd when this story came out, vocalist Sully Erna, bassist Robbie Merrill, and fill-in members Evanescence's Will Hunt and Dorothy Sam Bam Colton outlined what went down and why the lineup change happened at all. As it turns out, everyone was super cool about Larkin and Rumbola's decision to retire from the band so they could live out the rest of their days without the rigors of touring. Rather than paraphrase their statement, here it is in full. Quote, to our dearest friends and fans, we send this message to all of you to share some bittersweet news with you regarding a significant change in our journey together. After almost 3 incredible decades, 2 of our most cherished members, Tony Rumbola and Shannon Larkin, have decided to retire from the band permanently on good terms, but for no other reason than to fulfill their desire to live a more simple and quiet life away from touring. This decision was not made lightly. They never are. Tony and Shannon have been such a big part of our history, bringing their unique talents, creativity, and passion that have shaped our music and our message. Together, we have experienced countless unforgettable moments and heartfelt interactions with fans like you around the world. We are immensely grateful for every moment we've created together. Their departure marks the end of an era, but it also opens the door for new and exciting possibilities. New music? Sully? Maybe? Anybody? I don't know. We want to assure you that Shannon and Tony will always be a part of our family, and their contributions will forever echo in our music. We respect their decisions and support them wholeheartedly as they pursue their own individual paths. Robbie and I are also excited to explore new directions, and although we have not made any permanent decisions about who may replace Tony and Shannon, we will be continuing this journey together, and we look forward to sharing the decisions we make with all of you as soon as they happen. In the meantime, some of you may have heard drummer Will Hunt of Evanescence, along with the guitarist Sam Colton of Dorothy, are filling in for Shannon and Tony as we honor and complete our current European dates. Thank you for your unwavering support over the years. We are grateful to have you by our side as we navigate this transition. Let's celebrate the memories we've made together while we all look forward to our future together with love and respect. Sully, Robbie, Tony, and Shannon. End quote. So there you go. You got both sides of the story.
And Sully has said that if they did any new music, it wouldn't be full albums; it would just be singles. I mean, who knows?
Singles here.
I don't know. I don't know if that had a lot to do with what those 2 guys were like feeling at the time because of the touring issues or something. So maybe that's going to change. Who knows? I mean,
could.
I think Godsmack's got enough material in their catalog. They can do different shows every night anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Pull out some deep cuts or something. So, you brought up Jeff Loomis a minute ago, and I wanted to ask. I sent a lot of negative feedback from the new Arch Enemy album, and I wanted to see. Cause I know you're a bigger fan than I am of Arch Enemy, so I kind of want. And you followed them a lot longer than I have too, so I kind of wanted to see what you thought about the new album compared to a lot of people saying, it's just not the same without Jeff, and I'm not sure,
well,
if that's the actual difference or not. But I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of differences, but
Well, I mean, it's 100% true. It's not the same without Jeff because you got a completely different guitar player. But I mean, when Alyssa came in after Angela decided to stop singing and just start managing the band, it was the same thing. It was like, well, it's not the same without Angela. Well, no shit, it's a completely different singer. So now it's a completely different guitarist. But I've listened to the album all the way through twice this week, and I thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was good. So I guess what I'm saying is, could you tell? I guess is what I was,
Not really. Not
really. If somebody wouldn't have told you Jeff Loomis was not in the band anymore, and you listen to that, could you be like, that's not Jeff Loomis?
I mean, probably not. But I mean, my whole thing with Arch Enemy has always been the guitar harmonies that Michael Amott writes. Right. I think Michael Amott is a criminally underrated guitar player. His guitar harmonies are fucking outstanding. And I don't think I don't think he gets enough credit for the stuff that he writes, So, but yeah, I enjoyed the album. I thought it was great.
Okay.
I think that what Michael has in Alyssa, as far as her talents go, as far as the ability to sing, clean, and sing, the gutturals that Arch Enemy is known for in the past. They did it a little bit on the last album, and they of course they wrote the ballad like you were talking about.
Yeah, I kind of threw me. I was like, wait a minute. I was waiting
yeah,
for it to kick in and never did. I'm just like, wow, I cannot believe they did that.
But Michael is starting to utilize Alyssa's
strengths,
entire vocal repertoire. He's starting to let her kind of do that.
That's good because I think that's bringing in. But I think that's good because I think it's bringing in new people to Arch Enemy.
It can, but it might,
and it's probably driving some of the old schoolers away too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It also might, but I mean, those people may have stopped listening to Arch Enemy when Angela retired, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it happens, but it also adds a new element, and it allows them to evolve if they decide to,
right?
And it also avoids any stagnation.
Yeah. Well, I think we talk about vocals and stuff a lot with that, and the type of vocals that they're doing is kind of hard on the vocal cords. So, I mean, to be able to kind of give her a break and do some other kind of things is probably going to just increase the longevity of the band. Honestly,
I mean that'll definitely help. But I mean, she's got such a strong, clean singing voice.
She does,
too.
yeah. She's
strong.
She's probably one of the most well-rounded female vocalists that I've heard. As far as doing it all,
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's some great female vocalists we've even talked to on the show, just not as well, I don't know if they can. We don't hear it, so it's like we can only go by what we hear. So
right, yeah, but yeah, she's definitely a dual threat as far as vocalists go. Vocalist, male or female, I mean, she can do both exceptionally well, and for Michael to finally let her utilize it a little bit more. It's good for her, and it's good for the band because, like I say, it'll avoid a lot of it's like, oh, it sounds like everything else Arch Enemy has ever done. Well, no, that's not true.
Right.
Especially when Alyssa throws in some clean stuff, because they didn't do any of that until Alyssa came into the group. So it's all of this stuff that they're doing with any clean vocals is new for Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
All of it.
All right. Other headlines we have. The band Ancients won their second Juno Award, so congratulations to those guys. Slayer's either teasing a Pennsylvania show or they're getting into the Hershey Kiss game. We don't know.
I saw that.
But I'm pretty sure it's teasing a show. But
yeah.
And then the ridiculous comments on that was just pissing me off because it was like, oh, they're going to be another Motley Crue. I'm like, no, I mean, they're not doing a full tour. They're just doing shows here and there. I mean, I think it's just pretty much, because of, just they're probably already in the area doing another thing. So they're probably just adding something while they're there, I mean, if you're, so this is the thing, like when, we were booking booking professional events, we would make sure we were booked in certain towns that were next to each other. So it just made sense. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it and make all your money in a loop and come back home. So it's like, it's just more money for them. Good for them. I mean, I ain't hating on them because they did that. I mean,
no.
And then the band Scow's going to perform on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Wednesday of next week. So that's pretty cool. Like this is cool too, because I've noticed more and more we're starting to see a lot more bands that are on the heavier side on these shows. It's pretty cool for them to get a little bit more notoriety. So Health concerns forced Motley Crue to drop off the Boardwalk Rock Festival. Alice in Chains is added to the bill. So I'm not sure. I didn't read into what was going on with Motley Crue, but I don't know if you did or not. But
I didn't. but I'm not 100% sure it really went into any details anyway.
Yeah, another one that I didn't really say a whole lot. They just kind of it was kind of short. That's why I just put it as a headline. I was like, well, it's not
Right.
really
Yeah.
much to report on. So, and then Metallica's Master of Puppets hits 1 billion streams on Spotify. So congratulations to Metallica. So. Richie Faulkner says Judas Priest is already talking about an Invincible Shield follow up. That's pretty cool. I mean, to me, that's cool because I mean, people's going to be like, "Oh, we're just throwing stuff out there." I mean, they're old, man. So I mean, they're trying to get everything they can. You know, if they can't wait 6 years anymore to put something
No, they
out. So I
can't.
mean,
No, they can't.
you know, that's just like Metallica was talking about that on our last time. Hey, we're getting to be 60, man. We're probably not going to be able to wait 8 years to put an album out. We're going to have to, do something in the next two.
Right? Yeah,
So,
you're going to have to. I mean, you got to
well, yeah,
speed
I
up the
mean,
process at this point.
yeah, I mean, when you're 30 and 40, you can do 8 years in between. But yeah, when you get older and you want to do these things, you're probably gonna have to do them pretty quick, or father time.
Unless you just can't find the inspiration or desire, then I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, yeah, father time wins though. So I mean, so
undefeated,
undefeated, yeah,
undefeated.
So Trivium's Seattle show got halted by falling speakers. The band played rock, paper, and scissors.
I saw that.
Crowds.
I saw that.
That's pretty cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, you think, when you go and see a live show, this is the kind of things that you take away from it. Because I mean, those people are going to have that forever, and they're at the show going, "Man, you remember when they played rock, paper, and scissors with the crowd? That was crazy." It's like you're there. Stuff like that just sticks with you from a show. So.
Well, see, that's the thing is like good for Trivium for hanging around because I mean a lot of bands
a lot of people just cancel the show.
A lot of bands were like, well, that's it for us. We'll see you guys later.
Axl Rose would have ran off.
Oh God, yeah, no, absolutely, no way in hell.
Well, I mean, he may not do that now, but he would have definitely done that back to Guns.
Without question. Yeah.
So this one was kind of funny. I kind of put this on there because this actually is on the playlist, so I kind of put this on there. The band Midnight attacks the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on their new single "Cleveland Metal." That's pretty funny.
Nice.
Then Sharon Osbourne says she is down for a Black Sabbath Avatar show. And no, that's not Avatar or the band opening for Black Sabbath.
No.
That means the avatars of Black Sabbath being at her concert. So
no.
Which, I don't know, man. I'm not down with all that.
I'm gonna pass.
You want to see the people for who they are. You don't want to see a hologram of somebody. That's kind of crazy.
You're doing the Goodbye show in July.
Yeah, just let it ride. Be done with it.
You're getting the final show. You're getting the closure. Just let it.
Yeah, let him.
And I mean, at this point, because at this point, what you can do is you can close the book and record it and sell it on a DVD. Sell it. Record it. Sell it on a DVD so people go. I might even buy it. I might.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine, Crazy Town, and Limp Bizkit, and a lot more are part of the Netflix's Devil May Cry soundtrack. So, like I said, a lot of these places, a lot of soundtracks are getting into the, doing the heavy stuff. It's cool, man. Like we're into a lot of stuff that we wouldn't normally be in 20 years ago, I think. So.
Yeah, a lot of these soundtracks for these movies and video games, they're starting to become more diverse, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and especially with our genre of music being included, which is nice.
Right. Neil Follins talking about the new Clutch record said it's taken us longer than we would have liked, so it may not be happening this year from the sounds.
Yeah.
Maybe early next year. So
maybe.
This is something I haven't been noticing. I've been noticing, and I forget to put it in the headlines, but. Metal Ingestion started. I don't know if they've been doing this. I just noticed it this year, but they've been putting an Artist of the Month on their thing. So I was like, man, that's probably something I need to talk about because I mean that's kind of cool that they get noticed for Artist of the Month. But Bleed From Within is Metal Ingestion's Artist of the Month for April. So congratulations to those guys.
That's kind of cool.
Sepultura is set to wrap up their farewell tour at the end of 2026, which I think that was maybe something I had to scroll at the bottom of. The Onslaught interview, but we didn't talk about it. So,
right.
Linkin Park. Well, I guess they got that much longer to convince the Cavaliers. So,
True.
so Lincoln Park's downgrades LA show due to low ticket sales, and then angers Brazilian fans with 2 shows removed. So I guess the reception or the honeymoon's over. I guess
Yeah.
what you could say. But I think they should have just stuck with kind of like what Pantera's doing with just playing Linkin Park stuff without doing anything new. Because I think when they come out with a new album, it kind of probably piss a lot of fans off.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I think so.
You take those chances, and that's what happens. So
that's true.
Art Spire is in the studio. No new drummer is announced as of yet, but I guess they'll figure that out by the time they get to the drum tracks. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this one's the one you always try to help me with. Sangusa Sugabog. I don't know.
Sanguisugabog.
Sanguisugabog. There you go. But they wrap up a new record with Kurt Ballou. So they're wrapping up some stuff. So hopefully that'll be out sometime this year. Queensryche's been playing some shows at Disney's Epcot. That's pretty cool. Usually, speaking of that, Ice Nine Kills is banned from Disney. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but they're banned from Disney World. Ex-Crypto guitarist Jessica DeFalci joined Tool on stage at Lollapalooza in Brazil. That's pretty cool. So they actually were harder than usual.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what that means. 100%.
Vitriol announced Keith Merrow as their new co-guitarist. And then last but not least, Firefest 2 recently announced a new location, but local officials are denying the registering or existence of the event. So
yep, I saw that.
Just more controversy around that. So.
Yeah. The only other headline I had is that Opeth won the Swedish Grammy.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So
they did. They won the Swedish Grammy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, that will take us into our hitting the road segment, and I guess I don't know if Kobe and Jason's still in here, but they had a big announcement today. Halo Scars is going to open up for Nothing More. I think it's next Thursday, actually, in Knoxville. I think it said April 10th. So I think that's next Thursday. So, and also Kingdom Collapse is going to be on that bill too. So, man, let me tell you something. That when I seen that, I said, man, that is a fucking hell of a lineup, dude. Like, because I know the bands and I've seen Nothing More. I've seen Halo Scars. I have never seen Kingdom Collapse. I'd like to, but never seen those guys. But I'm just sitting there thinking, man, that's a pretty solid fucking show right there, dude.
Yeah.
So,
and it is next Thursday.
Is there? So yeah, I thought
at the Millen Mine in Knoxville. So
yeah. And I wanted, like Jason was like, oh man, you should go, you should come out. I'm like, yeah, man, I really do. I want to, man, but fuck, it's like we gotta get ready for, our announcement, of course, for Rockin' Pod next week. So
yeah,
we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But
and I'm actually going to Nashville to see Valkyrie's Fire next Thursday. So yeah. I'll actually be in Nashville. So
yeah, so anyway, that would be cool to see that show though, because Nothing More puts on a great show, and we already know Halo Scars is fucking everything on stage as far as a band should do. They do everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're the hype. They do everything. So it's Jason is pretty known for. I don't know if he'll be able to do it in a venue like that, but he's known for going out in the crowd with his guitar. But we'll see if he can find a way. But
true.
Yeah. So, but yeah, congrats to you guys if you're still in here, and if not, we're saying it anyway. Congrats to those guys.
Yeah.
They've been so, man. Like, let me tell you something. Hopefully this is probably one of the bigger shows I think they played with, our bigger bands they played for. So they played with some big bands, but I think this is probably one of the bigger ones that, and man, just went blank. Oh my god, I just went blank. Anyway, the lead singer Hawkins, he's a pretty cool dude. So I think if he sees something in those guys that he might like, then that may be good for them. So
yeah,
like I said, they've met some cool dudes. Like they talked about they talked about Born of Osiris being like super cool to them. I think it was Born of Osiris. or Orbit Culture. I can't remember which one of those bands, but it was
I think it was Orbit Culture.
Orbit Culture. Okay, I knew it was one of those bands. They were talking about they were super hung out at their merch booth, not their own. They hung out at Halo Scars' merch booth. That's pretty cool. And then they just announced they open it up for shit. I just went blank again. Who the other band they were? Escape the Fate. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean they're they're doing their thing, dude. Like I see, like we've talked about this for a while now. It's like they're looking up and doing big things. They're going to do big things, and that's what they're doing now. So
yeah, they are.
Definitely. New album probably in the works at some point. I think they're talking about that. So yeah, man. So I think once they get that full length in the books, man, it's probably going to be everything's going to be shooting for the stars for them.
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
Yeah, we'll probably have to schedule this through a booker next time.
Yeah, we might. Like,
you got to talk to my people now, man. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's right.
But anyway, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, and I only had one of the hit in the road things.
Okay, that's fine.
I wrote one down. I know there was like a lot of them I probably could have, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna at least do this one. But
that's fine.
It's because of who it is, and it actually being in the U.S. So Burning Witches announced they are coming to the United States in August and September. The USA tour kicks off on August 30th in Pompano Beach, Florida, hitting Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, among a slew of other cities. Before the conclusion in Sanford, Florida, on September 20th, and no Tennessee dates. Atlanta's the closest one to us.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be very close to the Louder Than Life. So I'm probably going to be like passing on it, but I would love to see the Burning Witches live. So.
Yeah, but the Burning Witches, they're actually really active on the road. So I mean, that's not going to be the last time they come. To the United States.
Yeah, I mean
they're super duper active.
Yeah, really I think they'll make another round through here or something.
Yeah, yeah, they'll be back through here. All right, well, buckle in, folks, because I got 2 weeks worth of hitting the road here for you guys.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to do 2. If I knew that, I probably would have did more.
Well, I mean, I was fully prepared to do a normal show last week.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I just did the whole thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so for the 22nd through the 4th, March 22nd through the 4th, leading off at the PRP like always, 1056 Victims and the Dolly Thundering Concept are going to Europe and to the UK, starting September 9th in Antwerp, Belgium at Kafka, finishing September 26th in Baden, Switzerland at Work. Snafu, King Parrot, and Shock Narcotic have been named openers for the Pantera and Amon Amarth tour. Flesh Hoarder will also be appearing at 2 dates in Texas. Violence has announced some spring dates, with Ex-Hoarder appearing at the UK stops starting April 10th, so coming up very, very soon, at Las Vegas, Nevada at the Backstage Bar and Billiards, finishing May 9th in Manama, Bahrain at Diggers. Born of Osiris, the Browning and Convictions are going to Canada, starting June 17th in Windsor, Ontario at the Dominion House, finishing July 12th in Armstrong, British Columbia at the Armstrong Metal Fest. Korn, Gojira, and Loathe are going to Canada, starting September 17th in Ottawa, Ontario at the Canadian Tire Centre, finishing October 1st in Vancouver, British Columbia at Rogers Arena. Malevolence has announced a European and UK tour, with the openers to be announced, starting October 27th in Toulouse, France at the Bikini Club, finishing November 9th in London, England at the O2 Academy, Brixton. Korn, Gojira, and Loathe are going. A little bit of lag brought to, Pig Destroyer is going to Australia and New Zealand, with Worm Rot appearing at the Australian dates, starting September 2nd in Perth, Australia at the Amplifier Bar, finishing September 14th in Wellington, New Zealand at San Fran. Mastodon has announced some August European dates, starting July 3rd in Cardiff, Wales at Blackweir Park, finishing in Sullingen, Germany at the Reload Festival, which takes place from August 14th to 16th. North Lane is going to Europe and to the UK, with Whitechapel appearing at select dates, starting June 5th in Prague, Czechia at Meat Factory. Whitechapel will be at that show. Finishing June 28th in Paris, France at Skull Valley. Then Whitechapel is going on a European and UK tour of their own, with North Lane appearing at select dates, Starting June 4th in Gdansk, Poland at the Mystic Festival, finishing June 29th in Helsinki, Finland at Tuska. Primus is going on a U.S. tour with Ty Segall and Mono Neon splitting the opener duties. Starting July 5th in Paso Robles, California at Vina Robles Amphitheater, finishing August 8th in Sacramento, California at Channel 24. They will be in Nashville on July 13th at the Pinnacle. Chevelle Asking Alexandria and Dead Poet Society are going on a North American tour starting August 7th in San Antonio, Texas at the Boeing Center at Tech Point, finishing October 2nd in Airway Heights, Washington at BECU Live at Northern Quest. They will be in Nashville on September 9th at the Pinnacle. Age of Apocalypse is going on a North American tour with Despise, Cross of Disbelief, High Vis, and Military Gun appearing at select dates on varying lineups starting tonight in Newburgh, New York at Untouchable, finishing May 4th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade. They will be in Nashville on April 24th at the Basement East with High Vis and Military Gun. 3 Inches of Blood are going to Europe and to the UK with Katla and Spirit Adrift appearing at select dates.
Nice.
Starting July 30th in Wacken, Germany at Wacken Open Air, finishing August 16th in Dinkelsbühl, Germany at the Summer Breeze Open Air. The Callous Dowboys are going to Europe and to the UK in August, starting August 16th in Bristol, England at the Arctangent Festival, finishing August 22nd in Antwerp, Belgium at Kafka. Atreyu is going to Europe and to the UK with 18 Visions opening on the UK dates and 0936 opening the European dates, starting September 27th in Bristol, England at SWX, finishing October 20th in Hamburg, Germany at Grünspan. Ministry is going to Europe and to the UK with Light of Eternity and Mastodon appearing at select dates, starting July 26th in Tolmin, Slovenia at Tolminator, finishing August 16th in Eindhoven, Netherlands at the Dynamo Metal Fest. Drain is going on tour with Skal Koyo, One Step Closer, and Magnitude appearing at select dates on varying lineups, starting June 10th in Amityville, New York at the Amityville Music Hall, finishing June 19th in Baltimore, Maryland at Otto Bar featuring Scowl and Koyo. 1056, Dream State, The Dolly Thundering Concept, and Solitaris are going to France starting April 25th in Alencon, France at La Luciole, finishing May 4th in Lille, France at Black Lab. Madball is going on a European tour. Madball is always going to Europe. Man, Madball loves them from Europe. Starting May 14th in Madrid, Spain at Copernico, the club, finishing August 16th in Zwickau, Germany at the Alter Gasometer. Gouge is going on a European tour in June, starting June 3rd in Lisbon, Portugal at ZDB, finishing June 22nd in Clisson, France at Hellfest. Judge, Integrity, and Earth Crisis with Combust and Witness Chamber splitting opening duty, going on a North American tour. I don't think it's just the United States. Starting October 2nd in Boston, Massachusetts at the Middle East Downstairs, finishing October 19th in Berkeley, California at 924 Gilman. Paleface Swiss and Nasty are going to Australia starting September 2nd in Perth at the Magnet House, finishing September 10th in Brisbane at the Princess Theatre. Split Chain and Tarantula have announced some new North American dates starting April 30th in Washington, D.C. at Union Stage, finishing May 7th in Columbus, Ohio at the Ace of Cups. Cataclysm has announced is going to Europe and to the UK starting July 25th in Tolmin, Slovenia at the Tolminator Festival, finishing August 17th in Eindhoven, Netherlands at the Dynamo Festival. Pentagram has announced a U.S. set of tour dates starting May 11th in Austin, Texas at Come and Take It Live, finishing May 25th in Nashville at Tennessee at the Cobra. It's an awfully small venue for the Pentagram. That's kind of a strange one.
I would like to see pictures from the X Horror show. I know we didn't get to go, but
yeah,
I know I think it was last Sunday or something.
Yeah,
I would still like to see pictures. I'd like to see if how many people showed up to that, because you would think that Pentagram would draw a crowd. I mean,
actually, that X Hoarder show hasn't happened yet.
I thought it was.
I'll have to take a look at it. I think it's still coming up. I think it's at the. Okay. I think it's at the end of this month.
Oh,
I could be wrong. I will double check. Battlesnake is going to Europe and to the UK starting June 8th in Hamburg, Germany at Markthal opening. They will be opening for the Eagles of Death Metal on that night, finishing August 14th in Bristol, England at the Arctangent Festival. Paul Bearer and Cinderwell are going on a U.S. tour. Cinderwell will not be appearing at the first 3 dates, but the tour starts May 2nd in St. Louis, Missouri at Off-Broadway. finishing June 7th in Little Rock, Arkansas at Mutants of the Monster, Nashville. They will be in Nashville on June 6th at the end. KO Nashi has a couple of separate tours lined up. A U.S. tour with Sabella, Ballista, and Rakuyo on varying lineups, starting May 30th in Rutherford, New Jersey at Williams Center, finishing June 26th in Raleigh, North Carolina at King's. Then they will be going to the Europe and to the UK with God Complex, starting July 3rd in Berlin, Germany at Cassiopeia, finishing June. I think that's 19th. July 19th in Bielefeld, Germany at Flachor Festival. I fat fingered it, so I can't tell if it's the 16th. I sometimes I type too fast and I don't pay attention. Unto Others is going to Europe and to the UK with Lowen, High Parasite, and King Diamond appearing at select dates.
Oh, wow.
Starting June 21st in Dessel, Belgium at the Grass Pop Metal Meeting. Finishing July 9th in Sofia, Bulgaria at Arena Sofia Kolodrum featuring King Diamond. Let Live has announced their reunion and farewell tour all at once, with Last Hounds and Vanna opening at select dates, starting at the Vans Warped Tour in Washington, D.C., which will be held from June 14th to the 15th, finishing up in Orlando, Florida at the Vans Warped Tour, which runs from November 15th through the 16th. Scowl and Glixen are going out, starting July 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada at Grey Witch, finishing August 1st in St. Charles, Iowa at the Hitnerland Fest. Glixen will not be there. Tetrarch has some European dates scheduled for June, starting in June, I should say, in Leipzig, Germany at Moritz Bestai, finishing July 5th in Veliki Mezerici, Czechia at the Fight Fest. I don't know how to say it. Ice Nine Kills, The Devil Wears Prada, and Creeper are going to Europe and to the UK, starting November 19th in Milan, Italy at Alcatraz, finishing December 12th in London, England at the OVO Arena, Wembley. Ne Obliviscaris has announced a 5 Chaos and Carnage Tour off-date shows. April 18th in Fresno, California at Full Circle Brewing. April 23rd in El Paso, Texas at Lowbrow Palace. April 25th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at the Beer City Music Hall. April 28th in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at Chelsea's Live, and May 11th in Omaha, Nebraska at the Waiting Room. Lamb of God has announced their 2025 tour dates with a whole lot of varying lineups with a shit ton of different bands. Starting July 5th in Birmingham, England at Villa Park at the Back to the Beginning show for Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. Finishing November 6th in Monterrey, Mexico at Show Center. Architects, Era, and Holy Water are going on a North American tour starting July 17th in Cadott, Wisconsin at Rockfest, finishing August 22nd in New York at Terminal 5. They'll be in Nashville July 24th at Marathon Music Works. Marilyn Manson has a U.S., UK, and European tour lined up, starting August 7th in Sturgis, South Carolina at Buffalo Chip, ending November 30th in Lisbon, Portugal at the Sagres Campo Pequeño. Then over at blabbermouth.net, Garbage has a North American tour announced. No word yet on any openers. Starting September 3rd in Orlando, Florida at the Hard Rock Cafe. Finishing November 2nd in Phoenix, Arizona at the Van Buren. They will be in Nashville on September 10th at the Pinnacle. And last, but far from least, Stryper has a 40th anniversary Latin American tour scheduled starting July 11th in Monterrey, Mexico at GNP Show Center, finishing August 2nd in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil at Sacadura 154. That's hitting the road for March 22nd through April the 4th.
I meant to mention too that the Burning Witches show did not show any openers yet. They were saying that was going to be developing. So,
gotcha. Okay,
so,
all right.
So there are going to be other bands there, but they didn't have anything listed right now.
That
and the Exhorder show was on March 30th. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So. I thought it was. I couldn't remember. I said, well, maybe it's April because maybe I looked at it wrong. But
you know what it was. I guarantee you, I know what it was. Is I was thinking about the show that was coming up where they were going to be opening for who was it again? I can't remember. Hold on. Where they were going to be with Violence. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That's my bad. But yep, I do stand corrected. So.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So we'll pop this up here real quick. This is the playlist of the week. Before we get into our theme of the week, this is the new music playlist. from a couple of them. You'll be hearing from us in the uh, album review segment shortly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did you by any chance check out the new Machine Head that got released?
yes,
What'd you think?
it's all right. I mean,
Yeah,
but I like the first one better, but
I do too. Yeah.
it's still good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still got a theme going. I think from the last album, kind of with sound wise.
Yeah, I think so.
There's some similar sounds in there. I'm just like, man, but yeah, for the most part, it's still good.
Yeah, it was all right.
Um, the album that I want to check out outside of the album review, of course, was "The Bleed from Within" that got released, of course, but I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet. So
Yeah, I
that's,
listened. I listened to Arch Enemy and Alien Weaponry this week. So
yeah, Alien Requiem was actually good. It was a good album, dude. I don't know half of what they say, but it was good.
they're keeping that Maori language alive,
yeah, which I don't, but good for them.
which is good. I like it.
Yeah, I'm not hating on them for that for sure. So.
Not at all.
Let's see. You mentioned Tetrarch. They had a new single out this week. There's a couple of others I'm going to add to it because I didn't see them. Because for some reason I forgot to go look at my second playlist that I pull stuff from. Um, so there's some other new stuff that I did not get to put on here yet. So, but I guess I can kind of go over it. Where's that? Where am I? Let's do it this way. Of course, the Machine Head release. Of course, that was the big one. Looks like Insight had a new single release that wasn't aware of until just now. So,
Yeah, they did. Actually, I don't know if you may not know this, but Insight's new album is in our inbox.
Oh, is it really? Oh, nice.
Yep.
That'll definitely get downloaded. So.
I am already halfway through it.
Yeah. And then, a band that we kind of we got a heads up on this album too, and I've already listened to it all the way through, and I liked it. The Veil of Insanity by Game Over that got released, so that's a new single.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, new single ahead of their release, which I'm gonna hit those guys up once Rockin' Pod's over to try to set something up. So
that's gonna be a good album.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a good. It's good. And then let's see, there was another one I see. Beholder had a new one. There was another one. I thought there was another big band I seen on here. Huh, okay, maybe not. So those bands released stuff last week. Yeah, maybe it was just Insight. Oh, Distorta. Distorta was in the other band. Okay. So yeah, a couple of big releases on there. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and add these to that so I don't forget. Some things I just don't have to listen to. I just do it.
Gotcha.
This one too, all right, that should be a complete list now. Hopefully, anyway. Nice. That will lead us into our theme of the week. Our theme of the week this week was God and Devil. I mean, it's kind of a it's kind of a play on of some of the stuff we've done before, good and evil, and heaven and hell and that kind of thing. But I was able to get God in all of my titles. So
nice.
So it's nothing. I didn't have to reach out too far. So everything's pretty much self-explanatory. So. And I think I wound up with 1, 2, 3. Like 35 songs or something.
Well, you had 35. I stopped at 30.
Oh my god! I didn't realize I had that many. So I just counted them. I was like,
yeah, I stopped at 30. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's going to be a pretty extensive playlist then. So.
Yep. Yes, it will.
All right. Kick it off with my side of it with the God side. I went with Hell Yeah, Oh My God from Welcome Home 2019. The Ice Nine Kills, Thank God It's Friday from the Silver Screen 2018. This one kind of goes with both of them. In This Moment, Half God, Half Devil from Ritual 2017.
Nice. Got a twofer there.
Yeah, got a twofer, yeah. Avatar, God of Sick Dreams from Hunter Gatherer 2020. Avenged Sevenfold, Goddamn from The Stage 2016. Sepultura, Apes of God from Sepulquata 2021. Creator, Enemy of God from Enemy of God 2005. Kingdom of Sorrow, God's Law in a Devil's Land, behind the Blackest Tears in 2010. Machine Head, No God, No Masters from Of Kingdom and Sorrow 2022. Seventh Storm, Gods of Babylon from Maledictus 2022. Battle Beast, God of War from Bringer of Pain 2017. Halo Scars, God of War from Remnants of Decay EP 2022. Kill Ritual by the Hand of God from the album Kill Star Black Mark Dead Hand Pierced Heart 2022. Yeah, say it faster 3 times. Then we went with Metal Church, Pick a God and Pray from the Congregation of Annihilation 2023. Bleed from Within, God Complex. That was a single from the album that just got released at the time that we did this, which was last week. It hadn't been released yet, so there you go. So it is from the new album, and I'll can tell you that now. So let me pull that back up real quick. Sorry, and that was from the Zenith album. That's what it was called. So that just came out today. So that's actually on that album. So then I went with Atreyu, God and Devil, The Moment You Find Your Flame, 2023. Bullet from a Valentine, Playing God from Venom, 2015. Pantera, Goddamn Electric from Reinventing the Steel, 2000. Parkway Drive, If a God Can Bleed from Darker Steel, 2022. Arch Enemy, No Gods, No Masters from Chaos Legions, 2011. Overkill, Goddamn Trouble from The Grinding Wheel, 2017. Slayer, God Send Death from God Hates Us All, 2001. Metallica, The God That Failed from Metallica, 1991. Kubla Khan, Dear God from New Strength from 2015. Onslaught, Godhead from Sound of Violence from 2011. Demos' Dawn, God of Pain from God of Pain EP 2024. Nice. Demon Hunter, God Forsaken from True Defiance 2012. Drowning Pool, Goddamn Vultures from Hallelujah 2016. Seven Dust, God Bites His Tongue, All I See Is War 2018. Silosis, A Godless Throne from A Sign of Things to Come 2023. And last but not least, Destruction, God of Gore from the Birth of Malice album that came out this year.
Nice. So, you know what's funny is you mentioned at the start of this segment that this kind of ties into a couple other playlists we've done. Mm-hmm. We haven't done Heaven and Hell.
Are you sure?
While you were talking about yours, I went back through every playlist that we've done Good and Evil. We have not done Heaven and Hell unless it's on unless it's on your Spotify. I don't have it.
Wow,
we have not done Heaven and Hell.
Well, I mean, I can check. I mean, let's see.
It's not on here.
Metalheads Unites, Heaven and Hell. I do have it.
Okay, you have it. Okay, because I don't have it.
So this must have been before.
Okay. Okay. Well, once
because it was only 33 songs back at that point. I'm trying to see when it got added. I don't know where it would tell me that, but 10-2 something. It was taken from the top 10 segment of the Metalheads Unite podcast on 10-2. So not sure like what year that was, but it's been a minute, obviously.
Okay. All right. Well done. I mean, that's fine.
It says it. I wonder why it didn't say when it was added. I thought it told you all that.
I don't know. But yeah, I didn't have it. I didn't have it on my list.
Well, so. I mean, with 33 songs total, I'm sure we could probably come up with a pretty good extensive one by now, because I'm sure that's, if it says from the top 10 segment, we haven't done that in 3 years. So
that's true. Yeah, we changed it over to the theme of the week at least a couple years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for at least 2 years ago. So
at least, yeah.
So from 20, I would say 23, 24, and then this year. So we've been doing it for, this is the 3rd year. So
I think you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, so we can definitely add that to the future one for sure.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, well, that's the funny thing is like even the ones we did early on, we can always do a 2.0 because with the amount of
because I mean there's so many albums that's been released since then.
Yeah, so we could always do a 2.0 of anything. So that's totally fine. All right, well, I thought I had a lot of songs, and I do, but I mean Jason had even more than I did. which is fine because it's gonna be a hell of a playlist.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I had the devil side of God and Devil, and so starting out, "Shout at the Devil" by Motley Crue off "Shout at the Devil" from 1983, "Running with the Devil" by Van Halen off Van Halen from 1978, "Number of the Beast" by Iron Maiden off of "Number of the Beast" from 1982, "Devil Take the Hindmost" by Angelus Apatrida off of Clockwork from 2010, "Waking the Demon" by Bullet for My Valentine off of Scream, Aim, and Fire for 2008, "Devil's Teeth" by Exodus off Exhibit B, The Human Condition. That was a bonus track on that album from 2010. "By Demons Be Driven" by Pantera off Vulgar Display of Power from 1992. "The Devil and I" by Slipknot off Point 5, The Gray Chapter from 2014. "Saturday Satan" by Powerwolf off of Lupus Day from 2007. "Dance Devil Dance" by Avatar off the album of the same name from 2023. "Devil's Son" by Devil Driver off their self-titled debut from 2003. 666 by Onslaught off of their album 6 from 2013. "Along Came the Devil" by Primal Fear off Metal Commando from 2020. "The Devil's Symphony" by Artillery off their album X, meaning 10, from 2021. "Devil Dogs" by Sabaton off The Great War from 2019. The Devil You Know by Anthrax off Worship Music from 2011. Yeah. "Hell Patrol" by Judas Priest off Painkiller from 1990. "The Devil's Own" by our friends Methane off their album The Devil's Own from 2017. "Devil's Advocate" from Destruction off Day of Reckoning from 2011. "Devil's Eye" from our friends in Brainstorm off Midnight Ghost from 2018. "The Devil Incarnate" by Death Angel off The Art of Dying from 2004. "Deal with the Devil" by Hazard off their EP Victimize the Innocent from 2014. "Devil is a Loser" by Lordi off of Get Heavy from 2002. The Devil, which is a funny fucking song. It's so funny. "The Devil's Bride" by Reset from their New World Murder EP from 2022. "Devil's Island" by Megadeth off P Cells But Who's Buying from 1986. "Dead with the Devil" by our friend Shadow of the Talisman off of As Above So Below from 2025. "Devil by the Tail" by Overkill off Killbox 13 from 2003. "Even the Devil Believes" by Striper off Even the Devil Believes from 2020. "Satan is Real" by Creator off Gods of Violence from 2017. And Number 30 from Hell I Rise by Kerry King off his From Hell I Rise album from last year.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I will actually send that to you right now because I put it together before the show. So I will go ahead and send that to you and to Kayla because she's already seen my part. So I showed it to her earlier. So yeah, it's already 2 hours long.
Well, it's about to get heavier than that. So.
Oh yeah.
A lot more than that. So.
Oh yeah.
Take that off now. So, all right. I guess that will lead us into our album reviews.
Yes, it will.
So I went with a band called Living Tales. The album was called Hades. They're a progressive metal band formed in 2007 and hailing from Porto, Portugal. I don't know if I've ever reviewed a band from Portugal, so this is going to be new. So they are currently signed to Ethereal, get that right a minute. Ethereal Sounds Works, which I've never heard of that label either, so that's kind of interesting. So I might look them up too. Current members are Louis Olivier, guitars. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Yoa Carnero or Hoa. Maybe it's I don't know what the J sound would be in Portugal, but
it's probably if it's anything
H,
like
maybe?
if it's anything like Spanish, it would be pronounced like an H. I know
That's what I
that.
thought. Yeah.
I know that the two languages are kind of similar,
Yeah.
but if
I'm
it's
gonna
anything
guess
like
that's the way it is.
yeah, if it's anything like Spanish, it'll be an H.
Yeah. So it's Hoa Carnero, bass, Ricardo Carvalho, drums, and then Anna Sala on vocals. And it doesn't look like, but the guitarist, Louis Olivier, Oliveira is the only original member. So everybody else has kind of joined in the last couple of years, and the vocalist actually changed in 21. So not
Ah,
sure they've had 4 albums. So I mean, I'm not sure. I'd like to go back and listen to previous ones to see who the actual uh, singers or were sounded like on those albums. I didn't look at past members, so
well, I'm looking at the past members now, and it looks like they have had three other vocalists.
were they all female?
No, I'm
Oh,
guessing.
interesting. Okay.
It looks like their initial. It looks like their initial vocalist, Paulo Oliveira, who was also their keyboardist from 2008 to 18. I'm guessing that Paulo is. Let me check it out real quick.
Like Kendall Lewis.
Is male? Yes, Paulo is male,
Okay.
and then you have a Felipe Coelho, who took over. Wait a minute. You have two vocalists listed for 2008. Maybe they had two vocalists at one point.
Okay. Let's trying
But
things. Okay.
yeah, but Felipa is female. And
Okay.
then you have a from 2016 to 2021 you had Sylvia Bayora. Obviously Sylvia was female.
Right.
So
Okay.
they've
So they pretty much stuck with female vocalists the last few years. So okay.
yeah, yes.
Okay. So I still like to go back and listen to see the difference because this one this vocalist is pretty powerful. So I like to see the resemblance or the comparisons
Right.
between
Yeah.
the three. So this is the band's fourth full length release. This 10 tracks and clocks in at 50 minutes and 17 seconds. So this one does begin with a minute and 57 second. They call it an overture intro, whatever.
Right.
But it's to me a 2 minute deal isn't a deal breaker. I kind of I've said this before. If it's under a minute, I'm kind of like, why would you even waste a damn track? But unless it leads into the song, you know what I mean. If it leads into the song, I'm like, all right, cool. But if it's just like something and it doesn't even like sound like the next track, I'm just like, why would you? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But this one wasn't. This one was good. I mean, it's fine. Vocals, like I said, powerful, and I think Anna has some great range. Probably could sing anything I think that you give her. So kudos to that. Guitar work on this one's pretty good. Some good solos, good lead ins. I think and it doesn't do this very often, but drumming kind of stuck out to me the most on this one. It kind of so I don't know if I'm just noticing this. Maybe I've just listened to so much stuff and starting to get better at this or something, or just whatever. I don't know, but to me, the drumming set the tone for like the guitar. So some amazing riffs and guitar work, and and I'm sure like the bass and drums kind of do that anyway with some stuff. I'm sure it sets the tone anyway for a lot of things. But to me, you could hear it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, they kind of set that up for that guitar to come in at right at that moment. It's kind of like one of those things where it gave a window for the next instrument to pop in. It was really kind of the timing for that was kind of cool. And like I said, maybe I've just not paid enough attention to songs or something, or I'm just now, noticing it. I don't know, but maybe other stuff that I've listened to has always been that way, and I just didn't hear it. I don't know, but that stuck out to me on this one. So kudos to them for being able to be able to have the fan distinguish that, I guess. So as a collective, it seemed like like I said, one instrument fed into another throughout the record. So which, like I said, I'm not sure if I've ever been able to pick that out before, but you know, there you go. But so I did put this note in there. If you are a Burning Witches or a Battle Beast fan, I think you'd probably dig this one.
Oh, nice.
The title track Hades displayed some dialogue mid track, which I thought was really cool, and it had Anna kind of conversating with Satan. That's kind of like what the setup was. So they were like having a little bit of dialogue back and forth. I thought that was pretty cool, and I think it added an interesting dynamic to the track too.
Sure.
So I was kind of like, that is really cool. Like I don't know if I've ever, like I said, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody do it mid track. It's kind of like, wow, okay. But you hear stuff in the beginning or an end of a song or something, but I don't know if I've ever heard mid track. Maybe just nothing sticks out to me, I guess. But
sure, yeah.
So it did have a 3 minute 10 second like prologue instrumental at the end of it to end it, but with I kind of feel like I don't know why you had an overture in, but whatever. I mean, it's
kind of like an anticlimactic ending.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like 8. So I mean, you only get 8 tracks with vocals. So I mean, I was kind of like, that's kind of like got like, wish I could have got a little more. So if you're gonna do that, I just wish it would have had a little more tracks to it, I guess. But that's just me being selfish, probably. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I'm gonna give it 3.5 horns. So
nice.
And it may, like I said, the more I listen to it, I may wind up liking it more, and I may wind up giving it something different by the end of the year. I don't know, but
yeah.
I only got through it twice today, so I'm kind of like,
Right. All right. Well, let's see. This week, I listened to the new album With the Old Breed by Warfield. They are a thrash metal band formed in Kinsbach, Germany in 2012. Their lyrical themes include war, death, destruction, and artillery. They are currently signed to Napalm Records. This is their second full-length album, with their debut album Wrecking Command coming out in 2018. The band is currently a three-piece consisting of Dominic Marks on drums, Matthias Clemens on guitar, and Johannes Clemens on vocals and bass. Obviously, that's just in the studio. They all three of the current members have been in the band since its inception. Looking at the past members, they looks like at one point they were a four-piece, because they did have a drummer, or they did have a guitarist who was in the band from 2013 to 2015. They have had 3 other bass players. So yeah, they've had some other bass players. So, but the 3 members who are currently in the band have been there since the beginning. So that's kind of cool. As far as the album goes, it clocks in at 10 tracks, 42 minutes and 34 seconds. Best description of this album is if Creator and Warbringer were thrown into a blender, this is what you would get.
Oh my God.
I know, right? So yeah, super duper fast paced right from the beginning. Raspy vocals, really a lot of really well done double bass on the drums, which kind of fits with the whole kind of warfare theme of the album. War and death and artillery. You get that double bass going. It's it can sound like machine gun fire if you play it at the right pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you play it at the right pace, it can sound like machine gun fire. I will say one thing, and I had this gripe when I did the album review for FKU last year. There's really no discernible guitar solos on this album. I mean, there are some fills and there are some interludes, but there's nothing specifically dedicated to guitar solos, and I really have it's kind of a pet peeve of mine with thrash metal,
Right.
because guitar solos are kind of like a trademark of thrash metal bands.
Yeah.
I guess it's not a law, and I understand that, but if I'm listening to thrash metal, I kind of expect that. And honestly,
at least one, right?
Really, yeah. I guess you don't have to have 10 tracks and 10 guitar solos, but yeah, I would like to at least hear like 3 or 4 maybe. But there were some moments on multiple tracks where there were no vocals going on. So like I say, there were some interludes and there were some guitar fills, but no specific dedicated guitar solos, and I found that to be strange. But the album's put together well. It's super duper fast paced. Like I say, raspy vocals, not completely clean, definitely not fully guttural. But like I say, a crisscross between Warbringer and Creator, and which kind of makes sense on the Creator side because they are from Germany. So kind of the same. You got another Teutonic thrash band coming out of Germany. So, yeah. Aside from the guitar solo thing, it was pretty well done. Maybe a couple of times I kind of noticed some of the songs maybe were a little too similar at times. So maybe not as diverse as it could have been. Not to the point where it was a deal breaker. by any stretch, but you know, maybe could have done with rearranging the songs a little bit different, kind of, you know, switching up. Maybe there were songs where like guitar riffs were a little too similar, and songs that were maybe too close together. So maybe a little bit of that, but obviously nothing note for note. I mean, no band ever does that. But just a little thing that I noticed. But this was pretty decent. I kind of enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I listened to it twice today, so that was good. I'm gonna give this one 3.5 horns as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then what do we have to look forward to for next week?
Yeah, looking forward to the second Friday in April, April 11th, at our friends over at heavymusichq.com. Starting off with Anne is Okay with Abyss Part 2, that's an EP. Atrox Trauma with Where Death Hunts, rather. Benthos with From Nothing. Black Map with Hex. Bjorn Reese with Fimbulvinter. Blood Ascension with I. Bry Shao here with E. Dwylo Ukben. I don't know. I don't know what language that would be. I have no idea. Buzzard with Mean Bone. Cabal with Everything Rots. Sabisk with Die Buck 2. That's an EP. Church of the Sea with Eva. Cytotoxin with Biographite. Defiance with Blossom. That's an EP. Destiny with Ascension. Diabolizer with Murderous Revelations, Elven King with Reader of the Runes, Luna, Epica with Aspiral. Oh, that's another Reigning Phoenix artist right there. Exiled Hope with Apocrypha, Exorcism with Spectral Aggression. That's an EP. Exterminatus with Echoes from a Distant Star, Part 1. Final Dose with Under the Eternal Shadow. Fomis with Luminality. Freitelig Stoy with Incandescent. Gort with Blutgraf, Grey Czar with Euarthropodia, sure. Grotesque Bliss with a self-titled re-release. Han Gemeng with Satanic Panic Attack. We have H minus C equals N with This Is the World. Headphone Jacks with Discipline. Herman Rarebell and Friends with What About Love. High Council with Cruel and Unusual, Idle Heirs with Life is Violence, Impaled with Demo Medicale, Imperishable with Swallowing the World, Impious Throne with Suffering, The Eternal Deceit with The True Harmful Black, In the Woods with Otra, Cachalot with Anamoya, I think, yeah. Komatsu with A Breakfast for Champions, Last Lead Down with Weight of Silence, Leper Colony with Those of the Morbid, The Light with a self-titled album, the Lord Weird Slough Feg, that's Feg, F-E-G, Traveler Supplement 1, The Ephemeral Glades, that's an EP.
A fig?
Yeah. Lumens with a self-titled EP, Magnolia Park with Vamp, Malphos with Extinct, The Man-Eating Tree with Night Verses, Mentalist with Earthbreaker, Mesa with The Spin, Metempsychosis with a self-titled album, Miss Vane with Sempiternal Drive, that's an EP, Moonfall with Odes to the Ritual Hills, Neptunian Maximalism with Le Sacre du Soleil Invaincu, Nightblade with 5, Night Steel with a self-titled album, Nordheim with a self-titled re-release, Overcast Rain with Black Death. I think that's what we've been dealing with this week.
Yeah.
Putrid Fall with Obliterated Life, Revengein with Dark Dogma Embrace, Rykert G with Endless Thoughts, Rock Out with Let's Call It Rock and Roll, Rulamon with Death Whistle, Ryoji Shinamoto with Children of Bushido. We have Ryer with Dislodge, Samtar with The Bog of Cosmic Delusions, Sanctrum with Awaken in Embers, that's an EP, Shadows of Steel with Twilight 2, Soliloquium with Famine, Sons of Ra with Standard Deviation, Stonum with The Obscure Light Awaits, Speedway with A Life's Refrain, Stander with Collapsing, Swallow the Sun with Shining Dark, that's a deluxe version of that. We have Tar with Catharsis Till Dawn, Terraban with Oath, that's an EP, Tears Heaven with Godfall, Teen Mortgage with Devil Ultrasonic Dream, Thermality with Before I Get to Rest, that's a re-release. Tower with Let There Be Dark. Valhallor with Beyond the Stars. Versatile with Les Litanies du Vide. Vortex with Alien Realm, that's an EP. Vulvectomy with Aberrant Vaginal Gestation. I can hardly wait to see that. Can hardly wait to see that album cover.
Oh my god!
Within Destruction with Animetal, Wormian with Immemorial Shrine, Ye Banished Privateers with Tilted the Sea Shall Give Up Her Dead, and that is the last one for this week. And just because I have to know, I am going to
go look it up.
Vulvectomy.
Oh my god!
Let's see.
We might not want to see that.
Aberrant. Hold on. Let me I'm gonna copy and paste that. That's a fucking copy and paste. All right. Images. Oh. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. All right. Oh boy. All right. I am going to. I'm gonna see if I. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna see if I. Holy shit, man. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if you can. Yeah. There you go.
No, my god. That's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. So yeah.
That's why you can't find the G spot. Somebody's blocking your shit, man.
He's like, nope. Good Lord. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Oof.
That was about as graphic as I was expecting it to be. So
yeah. I mean,
there you go. So,
actually, I thought it was going to be a little bit grosser than that, but
so there we go.
Man.
Let that haunt your dreams for the next week and a half. Right? So there you go.
It's cool. There's a lot of those albums that we've kind of been seeing in our inbox. That's pretty cool, man. So,
yeah. I started listening to that new Insight album last night. Like I say, about halfway through. Yeah, about halfway through. It doesn't come out until August, and
I know, right? We got it in our inbox. That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
love it.
So I've seen some stuff from the one you mentioned. Then I've seen. What was the one that you mentioned? I was like, oh yeah, that's a Heavy Psych. I think was one of the other ones seen.
Yeah, Heavy Psych sounds. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. All right, gang. I guess that will wrap up things up for this week. So
not bad. 2 hours and 20 minutes covering 2 weeks worth of stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty well. Anyway, just want to remind you guys, we won't have a show next Friday night because we will be at the Rockin' Pod. We have to set up there on Friday afternoon because we're interviewing. I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you.
On Friday. We are interviewing Brian Slagle.
Yeah, which if you don't know who that is, then I don't know why you're here. But,
pretty much.
Yeah, he's a founder and CEO of Metal Blade Records, so that's going to be really, really cool to be able to talk to somebody with that much history. So,
oh my Lord, that much history and that much influence.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he's done some movies and stuff too, so that's pretty cool. So,
and he's a hockey fan.
Oh, well, there you go. We only have 15 minutes, Chris.
I know. I won't bring up hockey. I know.
But it's pretty cool of him because he didn't have to include. I think he's doing like 4 or 5 interviews on Friday, which he didn't have to do. But he's like, I'm already in town. Let's do it. So he actually anybody that wanted to interview him is getting to interview him, which is pretty cool.
That is
that does not happen at Rockin' Pod. I'll just tell you that. Like somebody gets left out. So I'm still upset we didn't get Billy Sheehan, but that's okay. So but we got some good ones coming up. So we one of the things I'm glad of is like Bob Chiappardi's like, I want to talk to those guys again. So I was like, we get to bring some other stories up out of Bob. So so definitely cool.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so we get to round two of him, and we don't get Martin Montney this time, but we do get Christopher Williams from
Yep.
Accept this time. So we get to see we get to hear the other side of the spectrum from another member of Accept. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so we got a lot of cool interviews next week. So
we have to see if we can at least get a picture with Martin though.
Yeah, we need to do that.
We have to try to get a picture with Martin. We got to try to do that. I bet he would.
Oh well, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on next week. So we have to set up there. I think the interview's is it at 1? I can't remember. I have to go back and look at my emails.
I can't remember. It's sometime in the afternoon. So yeah, we'll
I think it's 12:55 or 1 or something. So
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to show up there by hour before, so we can set up. So
gotta take all the gear up there, set up.
Yeah. And I'm not going to take it. And once I'm there, I'm not going to take it back down to do a show Friday night. So it's kind of repugnant to do that. So
yeah,
just going to leave it there and get when we show up Saturday ready to go. So
yeah.
So plus we got a lot of research and stuff to print between now and then probably.
Yes,
so
yes we do. Yeah, we have some homework to do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, got a lot of homework to do. So and then also getting the rest of my stuff made up to take with us. So
yeah.
That's going to be my day tomorrow more than likely. So so we'll see. But anyway, so just know we'll be rocking pod next week. We will be streaming live from there, so it'll be probably in a couple of different intervals because I think we can only do 3 hours here. So I'll probably have it set up in a couple of different intervals. But
that's fine because I think I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure at some point we have a pretty decent break in between our interviews, so we may just
that's what I'll do. I'll probably cut it and
we'll go to
do
lunch
like a part 2 or something.
Yeah, we'll go to lunch and then we'll come back. But so
so pretty cool. So pretty excited. And there's always, like I said, if anybody's listening and want to come out, there's always like vendors there with comic books and records and
tons
of stuff, dude.
Tons of vendors.
Yeah, there's always something to see there. So so come on out and see that if nothing else. So
and they're gonna have panels
there's gonna be panels.
They're gonna have guest panels and stuff that is completely kind of like it's another part of like the whole thing. So I mean we're gonna be doing our live stream and stuff like that. I mean there's gonna be like guest panels and stuff going on like that. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a hell of a setup.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited about doing this again. So it's gonna be really interesting. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Talk to some new people, make some new friends, all that kind of thing. So,
hell yes.
And what's so funny is I think Mr. Gray's on our list, aren't they?
You know what? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't think so, but I can't remember.
Think so?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but I don't remember. Like I say,
Did I send that to you through Facebook or did I text message that to you? I can't remember.
I honestly don't even remember at this point. I don't remember.
It must have been on that text message because I don't see it.
Yeah, you might have.
Well.
Oh, yep, there it is. Let's see. Brian Slagle on Friday, 12:50 to 1:05.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I'm not gonna go through the whole list. I don't want to give it away, but
Mr. Gray ain't on there. We Lost Circus. That's the one I was thinking about. I know somebody that handed out like stickers to us last year was actually going to be on the show this year. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the bands that I was talking about. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 interviews lined up. So
what we might need to do is we may need to take our break after our 12:15 because we have another one at 1. So it's kind of like a 45-minute gap. So we may want to cut off right there because after that we have a 1, 142, 220, 3, 340, 4, 420. So
it's pretty back to back after that. So
yeah. So
and we do get to interview Beardo and the Weirdo. So I was surprised we got to do that one. So that's the guitarist for Five Finger Death Punch's podcast. Yeah.
Chris Kale. Yeah.
Pretty cool. But we got to stick to podcast stuff. We can't ask him about Five Finger stuff. So.
Right.
That's it. That was his only request. So
that's totally fine.
So I mean, we're actually, I already got questions I want to ask about, transitioning and all that stuff. So
yeah, no, that's fine.
So cool. Awesome. Yeah. So anyway, looking forward to that. So in the meantime, there's a lot of stuff you can catch that's Metalheads Unite related, like our 24/7 radio station streaming 24/7. Actually, streaming 25/8. I'm just kidding.
That's right. Yeah.
You can check that out over at stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/stream. And then you can follow us on all of our socials.
Yep. Email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com. Follow us on our Facebook group, our Facebook page. And if you don't know by now, the Facebook page is public. The Facebook group is private. Come on, if you want to join that, send us a member request. We'll get you guys hooked up with that. Follow us on X, Instagram, our YouTube channel, Rumble, Twitch, TikTok, Spotify for all of your playlists, all of our playlists, and Instagram. If I missed Instagram, I can't remember if I did or not.
Yeah. No, it was up there. So,
okay.
If you read it off the thing, it was up there.
I was, I was, but
I know I kept looking at it too, thinking something was missing, but no. I was like, I don't know, man. At this point,
may have been.
We're in some of the stuff I can't remember. So, anyway. Yeah, and then also that I already downloaded the interview from last week. I just gotta edit it and put it up on Spotify and Rumble. So I'll have that out of the way before we get into all that next week, because that's going to be a lot of editing and stuff after I get that done. But yeah. So anyway, guys. Hopefully, we will see you back here at some point next week. Just keep your eyes open for the live thing. I'm going to probably set that up sometime this week before we actually go out there. So, have that set up. But, and then probably have the I'll probably do some of the news snipping and cutting and stuff while we're there before we actually go live. So there we go.
Yep.
All right, guys. Till then, hopefully we'll see you back next week. And in the meantime, like I said, check us out on our Spotify playlist, Spotify interviews, all that good stuff to get a heads up on what's coming up. I always check out our socials and see what we have coming up. And like I said, Friday, I think at 1, I think that's what it said.
12:50.
12:50. So yeah, around 1. So we'll probably be out there about 11. 11. I'm probably going to go about 11:45 and set up and everything. It'll give us an hour to set up. I'm not sure it'll take that long, but I'm going to make sure. So
right.
Yeah. So all right, guys. Hopefully we'll see you back in here next week. And in the meantime, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, you guys. Thank you.